Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast episode 101 for Tuesday the 14th of December 2021. I'm your host Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
Formula One officials are corrupt and they suck, Nick Wilson.
And Sensei Switch.
How we doing? All good?
Yeah, not bad.
Cool. So it's been a busy week this week. We've had the Game Awards with plenty of announcements there. We've had the Matrix Unreal 5 tech demo, which we'll be talking about very shortly as well. Lots of games played by myself, and I imagine you two as well. A busy week indeed. So, shall we get straight into it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Right. Okay. So what we're going to do is I do want to start off. Have any of you two played the Matrix tech demo?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to talk about that first. How did you guys find it?
It looked really, really nice, but the demo part, couldn't really, it was a shooting section and a walk around, do nothing, maybe drive section. And you couldn't.
It wasn't even
anything like that.
Yeah, really a shooting section, was it? It was more like a
Press left and right.
Interactive, kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I get that, but did you explore the main open world city bit?
I wandered around it.
30 seconds. I got bored.
Is that it, mate? I'll tell you.
Anything in there?
Yeah. Well, This is really sad of me, right? So I did the Unreal 5 Matrix tech demo. Really blown away by it. I mean, I'm a big Matrix fan anyway, but I did all the on-rails bit, and I thought the graphics were stunning. You know, to see that on a console, I was blown away. And I've seen a few people making it out, it's just on rails, blah, 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 but I'm still like, yeah, it still looks amazing. You know, and the character models and all of that of Keanu and that look absolutely amazing. And then you get into the open world bit, and I've seen a few people saying, "Oh, you know, it looks okay, not amazing or anything." I'm like, these people, I'm sorry, do not know what the fuck they're talking about. You know, if you kind of understood the technology and took your time to really look at the minute details, you would be blown away. And I have spent over 2 hours just exploring the city, just trying to just adventure everywhere, driving all the different cars, walking around, just kind of inspecting things. And I watched the Digital Foundry video today, which is 45 minutes long, where they deep dive into the demo as well.
Last 40 minutes longer than the actual demo, then.
Well, the demo, it can take as long as you want, because and what I'm blown away with, and I think what people are not appreciating with this is that city is rather large. Yeah, it is rather large indeed, and you can explore a hell of a lot of it, and there's so many details in there. Now, how many of you even knew that this demo had full ray tracing going on? I bet you guys didn't even notice it. The first thing I noticed...
I generally don't really notice ray tracing anyway, to be honest. Right. It just looks like reflections to me.
No, but if you look at it right, so there was a section just on a bit of road, and I just stood there. It was a crosswalk, and there was a puddle on the ground with some rubbish next to it. And you could see the cars driving past very slowly because they were pulling up to stop at the red light, right? And you could see the reflection in that puddle, and it just looked like as you would look in a real puddle in real life, and everything was just spot on. You know, like if the car was indicating, the indicator would be on that little puddle. And it's even the other things, like you look at when you're looking at the road, right? You see all the little cracks in the tarmac, and it looks so realistic. You think of like most games you play, right? You look at a puddle reflection, and it's just a kind of a approximation of what's happening on screen, right? It's not, 1-to-1 what's going on. Another example is you're walking around the city and you've got these big windows in the buildings, and they're kind of tinted, and everything that's going on in the city is being replicated one for one in the reflection in that window, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. And it's appreciating all the other little things, walking around, just how good all the NPCs look as they're walking around, like just how realistic they look in the city, and it's just, and the other thing that blew me away as well is because you can choose to either walk, run, drive a car, or fly, right? You look out into the distance over the city, right? Oh, and then you start moving. Like in a lot of games that are very high in the graphical fidelity, you'll generally in the distance see a little bit of pop-in every now and again. There is none of this in that demo, and that is something that I truly do appreciate, because when I see pop-in the distance in any game, I just find it a little bit jarring and takes me out of the immersion. This is just something that's got me very, very excited for the future of games, especially on the console, because the closest thing I've seen to this, especially with the quality of the reflections and the lighting, is probably something like Watch Dogs on the PC, with everything cranked up. That's probably the closest that I've actually experienced in a full game, but this is so much better, and this is on a console. So if I didn't have a PC and I was only a console gamer, I would be so excited about the next, 3 to 5 years of gaming on my Series X or PS5, because when games are made in Unreal 5, they're going to look stunning. I mean, they probably won't look as good as this if they're aiming for 60 FPS, because this whole tech demo was running at 30 FPS, but you can guarantee they're going to get it very fucking close. And if they do like story single-player games at 30 FPS looking like this, man, it'll be fucking amazing, fucking stunning. And the thing that I like about these tech demos of the engines as well is, it's less work for developers to actually achieve these higher graphical fidelity in the games, because the engine does a lot of the work for them, you see. So you see it, and there's something you need to appreciate because when you initially start the tech demo on the open world section, it shows you like little snippets, and you can press the A button and it changes where you can see, so one of them was using the super sampling on or off, and you could see how pixelated it was with it off, then it turns it on and it's all super, super smooth. And that's just using the artificial intelligence within the graphics cards, within the systems. A bit like how DLSS works on the NVIDIA graphics cards. And what that is it's the AI, it's using computations to up-res that image on the screen to make it look better quality than what's actually happening in the background. So you can actually get better visual quality than what's been generated by the machine, so it doesn't have to work as hard. And the other thing is, and I didn't know this, the character you play as in the demo, the black lady, I thought she was going to be like the new character in the new movie, because she looks super realistic and really awesome, right?
She looks kind of similar a bit to Niobe in the original trilogy, who is Jada Pinkett Smith's character, but it's not her at all.
No, she is.
Unless it's this Matrix's version of that character, because obviously Morpheus is different as well.
Yeah, this lady isn't real. She's made up, right? So you got the two actors in the car with her, and she's actually just a complete computer generated model. She's not modeled on a real person. Then. Yeah, just an NPC. And I didn't know that until the Digital Foundry guys mentioned that on their video, because it's like, fucking hell, that's amazing. Because I actually thought that she was the new actor in the new film, just the way that she was in the car, and then you play her when you're walking around the streets, etc. And then that shows to me a real true level of detail. And I know, like, for the general people, general gamers or whatever, like, oh, you know, it's a new engine. Oh, it looks...
Which would do away with the repeated NPCs, because that's one of the things that kind of pulls you out of a lot of open world games, and even Cyberpunk suffered from the same NPCs walking up and down the road constantly.
Yeah. So this is one of the things that I noticed in this tech demo as well, as I wasn't seeing very much of repeated NPCs at all. And what they were saying in the Digital Foundry videos, as part of the new technology for this engine, is they can make a lot of different looking NPCs just you know, on the back end sort of thing, so you don't really see that generation of repeated NPCs at all, which obviously makes experience a lot better. And there's a lot of details in this that people really, really miss. You fly around, you look at the tall buildings, you can even look in all the windows of all these buildings and see like the insides, and there's like beds and sofas and little doors and everything like that, like actual rooms look like. Because, you know, like in most games, you look in the windows and it's like you can't see anything because all the windows are either darkened out, or they all just
flat texture or something.
Yeah, they all look exactly the same. Like, you look in all the different windows and the layouts are all slightly different, like that, you know, which is really, really cool, right? But there's other things that you can do on this open world. So I don't know if you guys played with this at all. You can go in, like, there's a little options menu, and you can change the location of the sun in the sky and how much crowd there is, how much traffic there is. Turn on and off the matrix filter as well.
I turned that off, yeah.
Yeah, because it gives you like a kind of a green kind of overtone, right? You turn that off and it actually looks a lot more realistic, right? But, you know, I just I was high in the sky, right? Just moving the sun rotation, right? Just seeing like all the shadows moving and reflections, and just kind of really trying to appreciate the technology involved. Because we are getting to a really good point now where the visual quality is getting a lot more realistic. And I know you can still tell the difference, right? You know that, you know, it still doesn't look like real life, but I went onto Twitter and there's people who are taking photos in game because it's got quite a good camera on it. And a lot of these photos that were taken, you could easily mistake for real life, which is really, really scary. And also, if you do close up, if you walk up to something like, I don't know, a lamppost or a parking meter or something like that, and then look at the cars and all that sort of stuff, that looks so real. Like, the quality is just like they've done everything down to the last minute detail. It just looks real, right? A lot of this stuff does actually look real. And this is what's got me excited, right? Because it's a tech demo. It's a massive city, and you can just go and explore and just kind of within limits of course, just kind of fly around and just check everything out and drive around and crash your car and look at the destruction physics on the cars, etc. It's just, I just think it's pretty cool because I've never seen a tech or even had a demo with such a big open space to just kind of explore and investigate.
You think this is the kind of thing, Webby, they would have had at like a EGX, something like that?
I think so. I think there's something that that would be cool in something like an EGX or a Gamescom or an E3 or something like that. But, you know, what I think is really, really cool, though, is that, you know, this is free to download on your Xbox or your PlayStation 5, your PS5 or your Series S or X. So it's available to everybody who has those systems to try out. There's no time limits, you know.
It's chunky, though, isn't it?
It's what, sorry?
It is chunky. That's my worry.
It's about 30 gig.
Yeah, 30 gig for basically just that.
Yeah.
I've been exploring, though, looking about, like, on the rooftops, because you know what Twitter's like, and people have said, oh, I've seen Neo on the top of the building doing that, you know, that Matrix bent over backwards bullet time thing. So I found what looks like that with the building next to him. I couldn't see him, but that's just what Twitter's like, and it probably isn't there. But it wouldn't surprise me if they put something like that in there. I would have done if I'd have made something like this.
Yeah,
I've got a list of games there, Webby, if you want that are confirmed to use it.
Oh, really? Oh, well done, Nicky, because I didn't even think to look at this sort of information.
So you obviously got Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga, that's obviously using that. And
yeah. You've cut out, mate. Can you talk
to Unreal 5? So you'll love all that, won't you?
Can you say that again after Hellblade because you cut out?
Yeah, I thought it was just me. Actually.
Fortnite is getting an update as well to Unreal 5.
Yeah,
like that. It got the new Dragon Quest 12, Flames of the Fate. That's using it. There's a few other games I've not really heard of. Pez, that can sod off. Obviously, the new Gears of War is using it as well. And we've got Stalker 2, The Heart of Chernobyl. I think I saw a demo of that.
Oh, we haven't talked about this, have we?
That looks pretty awesome. Another one, I don't know. Black Myth.
Do you know how big that is going to be, Nicky?
Well, Stalker 2?
Stalker 2 on the Xbox Series X is going to weigh in at rumours 180 gig.
Yeah, I won't surprise me. Well, it says here that the game is actually 65 kilometers, like the map size, like the biggest map that's ever been in a video game.
Just like Fuel 2, then.
Yeah. And new BioShock, which is sort of rumoured, who's developing that. Apparently, that's using it as well.
Oh, that'd be awesome! Like just to sort of check it out, but we shall see. It's not the original team, is it? That's making that. It's
Cloud Chamber, like a new sort of studio, I think.
I think the thing is though, Darren, and I know it's going to annoy you because I know you have a thing about file size, and it will annoy a lot of people because obviously these systems don't have very large hard drives at all. But the problem is, us gamers are looking for better and better graphics, and the only way to accommodate those better graphics and of course the higher resolutions as well is for these file sizes to be bigger, right? Because obviously it takes a lot more information to generate these.
You condense the file sizes down and do brushing, which is what a lot of people do, and some companies can't be bothered to. But that needs to become more of a big thing. Like, thankfully, PlayStation is doing really well when it comes to like brushing down file sizes for games.
That's good.
Data compression and stuff like that.
One of the things that I was going to leave as a bit of news is there's going to be a new update this week for Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to require you to completely reinstall the game again because they're shrinking the file size.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's a good news in some aspects, right?
Yeah.
And on that news as well, Darren, I can't play it anymore.
All right. Oh, is that? Have they finally pulled your card? Have they for it?
Yeah, they. They finally sussed it on the Ubisoft app, and I can't. And it's finally figured out I'm not subscribed to Uplay anymore, to Uplay Plus, so I can't play any of my games at the minute until I resub. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't really.
You've cut out, mate. Can you say that again? I think Discord's having.
I know a lot of the games are.
Mate, can you say that again? I think Discord's having a bit of a hissy fit tonight.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I'm just going to disconnect from the chat and just join back again. Just give me a second.
Shall we all do that? Yeah.
Yeah. If we all leave, and join again.
Do that as well. Right, 2 seconds.
All right. Hello.
Yep, I can hear you.
Testing. Yeah, like because I noticed on the voice thing, like it gone red, kept on going to red bar. That's all. Right. So anyway, what were you saying? Sorry, mate.
Yeah, so no, it's fine. Yeah, but I noticed when they were doing the patch updates for Assassin's Creed on the PlayStation 5, it was like 4 or 5 gigabyte updates for the PS5, whereas PC and Xbox were getting like 12 to 15 gig updates. And it's apparently something about how the PlayStation 5 can compact the data down. Because rumours are that Valhalla on the PS5 is going to be about 40 gigabytes after this crush.
Oh, wow.
Which is very good because, well, that's pretty decent considering at the moment on the Xbox it's about 110 gig.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big game as well, though, right? It's got a lot of content, it's a big map and stuff, so, you know. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, and obviously...
I say, mate, the discs can hold 50 gig? So I think anything more than 50 gig for a game, I think it's just...
Isn't it 50 gig per layer, and you can have dual layer?
I thought the dual layer was like 225s. I don't know if they've upgraded for this gen, but I'm sure it was dual layered 2 lots of 25 or something. But
most games,
I think it must be more than 50 because I've installed games that are bigger than 50, and that's without like an internet update or anything.
Why are they selling games with 200 meg on them?
Because it's because they know that most gamers have an internet connection and their consoles are hooked up to the internet.
I get that, but there's never a warning on the box to say you need the internet to play this game. That's false advertising, in my opinion, and that is obnoxious. If you were to basically get that, the internet's down for the day, and you try and install it or whatever, and it's like, hold on, why isn't it installing the game? It's on the disc, right? Right? No, we couldn't be bothered to put it on the disc because we're too fucking lazy.
The latest big one for that is Halo, isn't it?
Yeah, how big is Halo though? So
I don't know actually. I've not looked.
I think that's about 50 something gig. I mean, you can pick what you install if you want the campaign or just the multiplayer or whatever. So you can pick and choose, but I think that's about 45, 50 gig in total.
Okay.
There's only I don't think there's 200 meg, or that was even less on. I don't think there's anything on the disc really, which is kind of stupid.
That is mental. So on the PC, Halo Infinite with everything is 47 gig.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah. So I mean, but the thing is, though, with the Matrix tech demo, at the end of the day, it's just a tech demo, right? You're not going to expect it to have all the compression and all that stuff anyway, right?
No. But I was just sat there and thought, if they're running this and if this file size is anything to go by with what we've got, then the news about the Stalker being 180 gig, I was like, you're starting to get into the territory now where people are going to need a new hard drive just to play a game.
Yeah.
This is not what consoles are about. That's going into PC territory, and if you want a PC, just buy a PC.
Consoles have been becoming more and more PC-like in the last few generations, anyway, mate. With all these expansions and stuff, anyway, you know. So...
Oh, I know they've taken a wrong turn, big time, in my opinion. When it comes to consoles, they should have stayed consoles. They should not have copied PC. Because at the end of the day, if you want a PC, just buy a fucking PC. I want a games console. I just want to turn something on, turn it off. I don't want to have to wait for it to power up. I don't want to have to wait for it to power down. I just want to put a game in and actually play it off the media it comes on. That's games console. Anything else from that is just a shit PC, in my opinion.
Well, every single system has the same issue, though, right? PlayStation, Xbox, and even the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, now Nintendo turned to the dark side when they started doing all the season pass bullshit.
Well, so it's not that, right? The amount of times, because I don't play my Switch a hell of a lot, but the amount of times I think, I've got a quick 20 minutes or whatever, I'll play X game on the Switch. And I click on it, and then it needs a fucking update, and it takes about 10 minutes to update, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
To be fair, I mean, I've played some of the new Switch games this year, I think Zelda, I played some of that day one, and the new Pokemon, and that didn't have a day one update. I think it's got an update now, but it didn't have at least a day one update, so the game is actually on the cart at least.
Right. Yeah, that's good, yeah. Cool. Anyway, shall we move on?
Move on.
Anyway, if you haven't downloaded the Matrix demo on your Series X, Series S, or PS5, download it and give it a go. It really is worth your time. I was blown away by it. I really was.
It's probably way better than the actual film's going to be. Let's just put it that way.
When's a new film out anyway?
In a couple of weeks,
I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I actually, after this tech time, I actually went and watched the original movie for the first time in God knows how many years, and it's still really good. It really is. I really had a good time watching it again.
It is pretty cool that they did only make one Matrix film. I thought they'd have cashed in and made like a load of shitty sequels to it, but thankfully it was only just the one film.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's all good. Right, so Nicky, do you want to kick us off with the other games you've been playing, mate?
Yeah, so I'll just get my notes up because I'm very clever. Obviously, well, we talked about the Matrix, so that can bugger off. And then, shall I talk about Halo now, or shall I talk about that at the end? Because I assume you both played it.
Well, I don't think Darren's been playing it at all, actually.
I don't have it. I'm probably not going to buy it flat out anyway. This might sound strange, but I fucking hate the new boxes for the Xbox games.
So weird.
They're so fucking plain and boring. I don't know why. Like, year into the new gen, they've decided to change the actual game cases for the Xbox One games.
What have they changed?
Do you remember they came with and they've got like the thin plastic bit along the top, and it had Xbox One sort of like impressed into the plastic.
Yeah.
Now it's just a boring standard plain green case with a big sleeve round it, like any other console thing.
Oh, I don't.
And it sticks out like a sore thumb amongst all of the other games in the original Xbox cases.
Mate, you need to sort out your OCD.
It would, because if I was to get it, I'd literally end up finding myself on the computer downloading and trying to recreate my own cover to have professionally printed out to put in a normal case so I could actually have it on my shelf.
Oh my goodness.
So I will basically from here on only be buying Xbox games that come in the normal cases. Like if they come in this new style case, I'll just get the PlayStation version of games now.
I suppose if they did it like this if they ever did, even though they've said they won't, but they will, but this is a Series S and X only game. If they did it like that, I suppose that'd be fair enough, wouldn't it? Because that would make it look different to the other one. But
well, what they need to do, and I know the new consoles, I know they've been very hard to get hold of, and there's multiple reasons for that we've gone through in the past. But I think we are hitting a point now where it's where I think it's time for these devs, publishers, whatever, to say, look, we're just going to make games for the new systems now, because otherwise games are going to be holding them back, right? The graphics especially, and just to get these games to run on the older systems, or you'll get like the problem you had with Cyberpunk, where it ran like dog shit on the PS4 and the Xbox One, but ran okay on the new gen systems and PC. They just need to sort it out. All this cross-gen bullshit, it's just pain in the arse. Really.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I said that the other week, didn't I, Webby?
Yeah.
I just think that is, when you look at something like this, that they couldn't get graphics like that on previous gen consoles, could they? So if they're doing Gears of War 6 with that engine, that can't possibly look like if they.
Are they still going ahead with 6 then?
Well, yeah, it just says the new Gears of War, so I assume that's 6.
Because I did hear that 5 didn't do that well at all.
It wasn't,
maybe, but then a lot of people got it on Game Pass, didn't they? So
right.
I don't,
Anyway, Halo. Shall we talk about the Halo campaign?
Yeah. So I take it you got it on the Game Pass as well. Webby, the same as me.
Well, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
And I was going to play it when it came out on Wednesday, but then they said, "Oh, it's not coming out till 6 p.m."
Yeah, that's
so then
correct.
I'm sitting there, but there wasn't a pre-download thingy.
No, there wasn't.
Me and my mate he was on PC, I was on Xbox, hitting refresh, and then I got a 4 gig update, and I thought, well, that's small.
Yeah, exactly the same as me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's a bit small, but that still took almost an hour to download.
Really? It didn't take very long for me.
it just it kept disconnecting. I suppose it depends on what server you're closest to. It just kept disconnecting. The same with his on PC. So I downloaded the 6 gig or the 4 gig, and then I opened up the game, and I was like, "Oh, you want to download the campaign? Yeah, that's another 28 gigs." I was like, "Oh well, I'm not streaming that tonight." So I think I started that at 6, left for work about 7:15. I was still on about 70%.
Oh wow. Yeah,
so I mean, it is what it is. I know that's first world problems and all that. And like I said, I don't know, because I did hear that some people who had the disc like in the morning still had to wait till 6 o'clock to download and play it.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, which is quite.
I'll get up and go. Or I mean, I don't know if they have the midnight launches anymore, but just what's the point? To get home and put the disc in. Oh, come back.
Yeah, I know. It's so
then
dumb.
You can download. I know it's first world problems, but that's just.
That's even worse. It's like thinking of actually selling the disc, because the disc's still got some monetary value. You can obviously take it to a shop and trade it in and all the rest of it, but even if you're doing that, there's nothing actually on it.
Oh no, it's crazy. It's just kind of an unlock key, isn't it?
License unlock, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I haven't actually had a chance to play it much myself because I've been busy this week. It's been my boy's birthday, so I actually went away for a couple of days. Thursday, Friday, and then seeing family on Saturday. So, and obviously today's Sunday and we're recording. So, I'm enjoying Halo. I've got to the open world portion of the game, but I've not done the first main mission in the open world section because I'm a little bit of a completist where I have to go and do all the little side things before I do the next main mission.
Yeah, I've been doing that. I was like, that one's coloured on the map. I must wipe the colour off that and move on to the next one. And by the time you do that one, another one unlocks further away than where you're going.
Yeah,
which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I'm loving this game. This is played so well on Series X because I mean, I looked. Let's say Digital Foundry had done their videos and stuff like that on this, whereas I think on Series X it's basically 4K 60, and then they do like a lower res 120 frames if you've got one of the 120 hertz whatever TVs which I haven't got.
Yeah,
but this runs so smooth. It's just so it just plays so nice and that. And there's a few settings to turn off, like the sharpness and the motion blur and stuff, because I don't like that because you just get that in Doom because it make you feel a bit motion sick, especially when you run.
Right. Yeah.
But you turn that off, and like I said, you start off for a couple of missions for maybe like an hour and a half where you're inside, and then it becomes basically open world, kind of like Destiny or a Far Cry type game.
Well, the thing I wanted to mention about that before we move on to the open world portion, Nicky, is the first couple of missions felt very reminiscent of Halo 1 when you're on the spaceship at the beginning of the original game. Just the way it was all set out and the things that were happening, I was like, they've just ripped off Halo 1 completely here. But it felt really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And then when you get out of those kind of tailored old school style from A to B missions and you got onto the open world, it felt again very reminiscent of Halo 1. On the first Halo 1 mission, you landing on the ring and you just feel like, wow, because it feels kind of open worldy when you get to that portion in Halo 1 anyway. So it just brought back all those nostalgic feelings for me.
Yeah, I mean, the same for me. I mean, but Halo 1, is or was my favourite Halo game.
Yeah.
I actually preferred. The mission you were talking about was at the Silent Cartographer, which...
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, this whole game, I think the whole game, you're set on a Halo ring. Whereas actually, that's how they keep you away from some of the other areas you can't get to. Whereas if you go to the edge, you can actually see the broken parts of the Halo and, see into space. So if you try and jump over... You can't, and you just fall to your death. And
I've tried to jump over a few times because there's the way the map is set out. Sometimes is like there's a crack in the world or whatever, but then you can if you look at the map, you can actually get to the other portion you're trying to jump to, but you need to go and backtrack for fucking ages and then do like a little bit of a U-turn. Because I've been going around just clearing up all the side missions. There's some bits there was one bit in particular on the very southern portion. It took me ages to figure out how to fucking get to it, and I had to like use the like grapple hook, and I was traversing like this massive mountain range. It felt like, and I finally got to it. But what I've heard is it's kind of set out in little biomes, so you do travel from biome to biomes. It's not in a true sense like one massive open world you can just travel to willy-nilly. And there has been rumours that they will be adding more biomes as DLC further on down the line, because I know Sly's completed the main campaign already. I think he just blasted through without doing any side stuff. But then you can go back and clear the side stuff, and the main campaign isn't actually, if you just do it, it's only about 10 hours long. And apparently, I mean, I haven't finished it, and I'm just going what people are saying. Apparently it ends kind of open-ended, like you can carry, like they're going to add some DLC to it. But I feel like it's going to take me a while to complete, because I'm one of those type of gamers in an open world where I don't just like pushing through the main story, because I know if I finish it, I won't be asked to go back and do the side crap. So I kind of like, if I'm in an area, I clear all the side stuff in that area and then do the main mission in that area before moving, because I know it's going to probably move me on to the next little kind of area in the open world.
So I think the pilot who you're with, he can then fly you to the next little part.
Yes, right, yeah.
That's what it is. But
yeah,
I mean, so I think I'm just about finished the first section. So I've now done the bit where I've gone back indoors again for another big mission.
Oh, okay.
And that's very similar to Halo 1. You know, the library levels, which everybody hated on the original Xbox because
of the flood.
Because of that. But basically everything was almost like there was like identical rooms following each other.
Yeah, and you got lost really easy. Yeah,
it was easy to turn around or to get turned round, and then you go back to the start. Whereas I remember, which was brilliant in Halo, the anniversary edition on 360, they actually painted like light up arrows on the floor. So
that's right. Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they've done the same in this one as well.
Oh wow! Okay,
which is hilarious. I mean, you don't necessarily need it as much, because if you press down on the D-pad, it sort of does like the Batman flash,
the scan, that's it.
So it scans everything. I went through that part and I've now come out the other side. I mean, I am loving this game. It's just playing so well. The only gripes I have, which has been in a lot of Halos just lately, is it's just never enough bullets, and it does force you to like item manage and pick up all the Covenant, and the alien space. It forces you. Whereas in the first Halo, you could pretty much play the whole game using, the standard guns that you'd get, whereas you wouldn't have to touch them. I think that's why they've done this, because they want you to use all the different guns.
Yeah, and I don't like using the Covenant weapons either, because I kind of just like using the assault rifle or the battle rifle.
Yeah, I do. And the pistol or the...
Yeah. And that's kind of what I like using, really.
Yeah, some of those guns are okay, but some of them are just like, nah, it just feels like a little toy gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just but that is what it is. That's what they've done. But other than that, and some of the physics are back, where if you get blown up, like Master Chief, just like cartwheels through the air and
ragdolls.
Ragdolls, where he just goes absolutely flying.
So cool.
I think that's literally the one and only complaint I've heard from the game, is that just someone just pointing that out.
The bullets or the
ragdolling thing where he like spins out into space like a starfish.
That's brilliant. I mean, everyone can remember on the first Halo where you could play in co-op, and then you'd like with two controllers, and you'd die and respawn and keep dying underneath your Warthog with your grenades, which would still stay there, and then you could like blow up, like chuck one on in the end, and you'd have like 50 or 100 grenades under, and it'd just send the Warthog flying off into space. Yeah, that's the sort of thing someone done. I mean, that's probably on YouTube, but yeah, I think that's more funny than anything else.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think they've left that in on purpose, to be honest. But other than that, just loving this. I'm smashing through this. This is probably going to be up there with Game of the Year easy in middle of December.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic game, and it's, and I was really worried about it when it got delayed, and all the rumours that we were hearing about people leaving, etc., etc. But I think they've done a really good job. I mean, the story so far, what I've experienced, which is obviously very early on, is really cool. But all the classic gameplay of Halo is there, right? The shooting feels absolutely spot on. All the little aliens, the little ones, all their little voice lines are really, really good and really funny. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's, he's here, run away, all that's all
that's
in
hilarious,
there.
Those little guys when they see you and just like, run away, and they just run off. That's hilarious. I could, back on the original, I could just chase those for ages and just chase after them. And they get back into a corner, turn around and see you, and and just run off.
Yeah,
I can't understand because you've got another different Cortana in this called Weapon. I can't remember. I should have watched what happened in the last.
So I can't remember what happened in the last Halo, but they kind of explained it at the beginning of this one, right? So Cortana went bad or something, and there was. She had to be destroyed. So the Weapon, who is the other one, was meant to actually destroy her, but she didn't.
Yeah, she was supposed to delete her.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I think she did delete her, but she was supposed to herself get deleted afterwards as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
she looks a little bit like Cortana, but a little bit thicker as well. She's got a little bit cross-eyed about her.
Yeah, so I mean,
like one of those TikTok stars,
I mean, I don't know. I'm too old for TikTok, so I don't do that bullshit. I don't want the Chinese government seeing what's on my phone. Thank you very much. But I think it's a really good game, and because I thought the last Halo campaign was just a little bit meh. I mean, I don't really remember it at all now because it's just kind of
shit.
Forgettable.
Did you play as that Locke guy? And I'm like, who wants to play as Locke? Where the hell's Master Chief?
That didn't really bother me, to be honest, that much. It was like, I think we talked about it before. You spent about 95% of that game running around with alien guns because you only used to start the levels with one clip of ammunition for the good guns, and then you were forced to swap out. And then you had this stupid boss that you ended up fighting about 8 to 10 times because he was so much fun the first 1 or 2 times you fought him. I mean, you must remember me and Party Webby screaming in co-op.
Yeah.
Who found those, Webby? Because you've got ammo boxes.
Yeah, there's ammo boxes, and when you you can respawn back at your little hub areas as well in the main area and get your ammo and your guns and stuff as well.
Stuff like that. The only problem is that's color coded as well. So every time you're desperate for weapon for your your assault rifle, you're like, oh, there it is, because you press down on the map and you can see it, and you run over there. Oh no, that's the wrong weapon type box. And like I said, they don't give you. It's like always the blue one. I was like, you don't have this gun. I was like, I don't want that gun. I want this gun. I mean, I don't know if they could maybe patch that in an update or whether they'd want to do that. Seems like a design choice, like I say, just to force you to use all the guns they make.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with those things aside, I'm still loving the game. I think it's very well done. The only issue I'm having is I've not actually tried it on the Series X yet. I've only been playing it on PC. And it does need some stability patching for the PC version because what's the word? The fluidity isn't there yet, especially in the open world area. The frame rate is kind of all over the place, and when it gets really busy, it can get a bit jarring. No, it's not.
Are you playing on 120, aren't you, Webby, I take it?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to play on 120, but it drops down to like 70 or 80 a lot of the time
that's
as well.
What Digital Foundry said. And obviously on the Series X, that's locked at 60, so obviously I wouldn't... Yeah. So like I said, if that's locked at something, you don't notice as much as if it's unlocked, and then it goes up and down.
On Digital Foundry, they've always said like they much prefer a locked frame rate. Like they'd even prefer a locked 30 over a 60 that fluctuates between 60 and 40.
Yeah,
because it just messes with your eyes a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Well, perhaps I should just look at 60. I mean, I just haven't bothered because
off Webby, turn it off.
Well, I have maxed out all the settings, but no, I wouldn't degrade myself to that low.
One of these, you've got your frames per second in the corner of the game, are you? And
of course.
So you're playing a lovely looking game, and all you're looking at is that bloody frames per second counting.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Terrible.
I know, but I like to know. I like to know. All right.
It's almost like having a mobile game with your controls all over the screen.
It's just a tiny little section in the corner, but I need to know just in case I need to change some settings or whatever. But I mean, apart from that, I think it will get patched on the PC, especially it needs to. But I'm still really enjoying the game. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I'm looking forward to digging into it a lot more in the upcoming weeks. Hopefully, get that campaign done.
Good.
Nicky, anything else?
So moving on yet?
Yeah.
Right. So for a great game, now onto a really old and awful-looking game, Destruction Derby on the Sega Saturn.
Bloody hell, we are going along to something different, aren't we?
Not even the PlayStation version.
No, and I say I wish it was, because I remember this was a game I saw with one of my friends who had like a PlayStation before me, and was like watching him play, and I was like, oh my god, it looks like real life. It looks like real cars. It doesn't look like real life or real cars. I think it's even worse on the Saturn. And I remember really enjoying this. And like obviously smashing into cars and stuff like that. And nostalgia got the better of me. This looks absolutely terrible. It plays terrible. This is it's probably on par with Die Hard Trilogy I talked about last week. You know, I mean, it's good because you get I think there's only like 3 tracks maybe and stuff like that, and you can't really do much. But I think one of them's like a figure of 8. And then you go through the middle, and if you got to be careful because the people on the lap are going that way as well, so you could end up just like being first, and then just getting like T-boned right at the edge, and then you're and then someone overtakes you right near the end. But it's just when people say, "Oh, graphics don't look any better for years," but when when you actually go back and see what we had.
Yeah.
You could try and get this to work with your steering wheel, couldn't you?
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, this is why we've always said, like, you go back to pixel games, they'll always look gorgeous because it's like an art style to itself. But when you go back to, like, those early polygon games,
some of them were awful, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I would say the PS3 360 era was kind of when they got the polygon stuff down to a point where you could look back on it in years to come and it would still look pretty good.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Before that, it's just pretty awful.
So get rid of Destruction Derby off the Twitch web because that's making me feel sick just looking at it.
Talk about something else then.
How many FPS does that run at?
1. Right, and I've also, I say finished, I don't know if you finished it, but I got the Platinum Trophy and I didn't realise how you got that. Was that Pretty Girls Klondike Solitaire on PS4?
I'm not putting that on my stream again.
No, don't put that on your stream again. I think you said Liang told you off last week for putting that on the stream. But that's an easy Platinum if people are still into that. Or
is that on Xbox for peeps?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Next. It might be. Next. Still playing Yakuza Kiwami 1.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah, just going through that. I mean, it's more Yakuza. I've been enjoying it, but then what was I thought, I'll just concentrate on the main missions rather than do the side stuff. And then somehow I spent 2 hours on the teddy grabbing machines.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why. I was like, because I was trying to get all the the monkey ball teddies. I was like, oh, I've got to get all these monkey balls. I've got to get the full set. And then you're just walking, and then there's this bloke in there who's like, oh, I really want this teddy for my little girl, but I can't get it. So,
I remember those. I remember that mission.
So you get him, it's like, here's your bloody teddy. And then you turn around, he's there crying again. Oh, she wants this teddy now. I thought, all right, I'll get her this bloody teddy. Then he wants a whole set. And I was like, oh, you're getting on my tits now, Chief. And then I walked outside and someone was like beating him up, trying to nick him all. But says, oh, intervene and stop him. Or just let the bloke beat him up. So I just let the bloke beat him up. You deserve it.
Here's a little thing that I may have mentioned on a podcast before. When you actually go to Japan in some of these like electronic districts like Akihabara and stuff, you'll notice that a lot of the things that are in those claw machines are in sale around the shops locally.
All right.
As well. Because what it is because there's a thing against gambling in Japan, there are actually certain places that will buy those things off you for cash. So people play those claw games, win those, and then take them to places to sell them for cash. There's in a lot of way to kind of get around the gambling. But some of those models and that you get out of those claw machines are actually pretty damn good. And you only end up like buying them like yourself for about 12, 15 quid.
All right.
Yeah, but because obviously those grabbers in real life, they never pick anything up. Only like once about every 10 of that lets you do a proper grab.
There is a skill to it. There is a skill to it.
There is a skill. You got to get it right, but sometimes if a snot,
they're all fucking scam, aren't they?
Yeah, it gets halfway up and then it just lets it go.
Yeah.
Well, no, because there are some people that are kind of professional players at those kind of games, and they regularly get banned out of certain establishments.
Yeah, because they'll watch and find out, how much money is needed before you actually get good. Where you'd get a good grab where it wouldn't let it go. And they wait for someone to play it for like 20 minutes, half an hour. And I think, right, they put £9 in. The next pound I put in, I'll get some good grabs and stuff like that.
I used to be like that down the pubs with the old roulette machines and fruit machines.
Well, that's called a lurker. Yeah. I think that's called a lurker.
Yeah, it is, because it's a thing in casinos as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone I used to know who'd go in a pub and like they'd end up winning out of the fruit machines, like they'd come up to you and later in the night go, "Can you get us a drink?" I was like, "You just won 70 quid off the fruit machine." I put it all back in, didn't I? Like, what?
Idiots. People are idiots, aren't they?
So, once it's paid out, you move to another machine. Like,
yeah.
Especially when there's only one fruit machine in the pub. I was like, well, that's done. Why would you? That's what they do, the flash and lights and the noises and stuff. That's just to get at people's addiction to just get them to keep putting money in, doesn't it?
Well, especially when you actually read. As well, you could sit there, pint in one hand, cigarette in the other, tapping on the old, listening to the jukebox.
I mean, yeah, because those machines suck money so quick. You can spend a tenner in about 2 minutes, easy, can't you, on those things?
Especially
the ones, the multi-lines and stuff.
Especially when you read like where you put the money in and it tells you the percentage where it actually pays out. And you're like, don't like those odds, mate, screw that. I'd rather go on a vending machine, at least I know I win every time.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're diverting here. We're diverting off the main.
Through that, and also obviously Cold War multiplayer. Still playing that every so often.
Cold War? Okay.
Last year's COD, because apparently this year's COD, it's weird. It's gone past everybody saying it's crap. A lot of people are now saying it's good. I don't know if it's gone so crap it's gone back round the spectrum.
Actually, yeah. Was it Peebs that was in our chat the other day saying like he took umbrage with like the new thing on Warzone or something? He can't use any of his skins or something that he had from like one of the previous seasons or something in the game.
I don't know. The new Warzone. This is just the standard multiplayer.
Yeah, but it was the same because obviously with Vanguard, because of Vanguard on Warzone, they've changed the map or something, haven't they?
Yeah, there's a new one this week.
Yeah, I did watch a small. I did watch a small video, and it was all World War II guns on this new map.
Vanguard is obviously set during the Second World War.
But I mean, I know this is skipping into the news section, but I'm just going to mention it now. Apparently, Vanguard has had the worst launch in 14 years of Call of Duty games. How bad's that? That's how badly it's sold.
Yeah, but that's still like what a rain at the top.
Yeah, it's still
that's a long old time still, isn't that? When you think about it,
the last 2 or 3, especially the campaigns, have been really bad.
Yeah,
it's like normally you say what you want about COD. You always say, the story mode is at least worth a play at some point, but last 2 have been really bad. Yeah, other than that, just playing that and Forza Horizon 5, just trying to go through and get all the, what are they called, the missions with the, like where you're chasing a blimp or a quad bike and stuff.
The showcases, aren't they?
Yeah, trying to unlock all of those, because I assume to, complete the game, you have to finish all those.
Yeah.
So yeah, just going through that, so enjoying that as well.
I'm still dipping into Horizon 5 most weeks at the minute as well. They've done an update on it on PC, so I can now I can use my racing wheel on it a lot better. Nice. But still, I prefer it with a controller, to be honest. Just because it's that super arcadiness.
Arcade?
Yeah, it's just a lot easier with a controller. But it's still a great game, a lot of fun on it. It's still a great game for multiplayer, especially. But I think, because of Halo and Final Fantasy, for me, it's kind of taken a little bit of a back seat. But it's still an absolutely great game to jump on with mates. Good.
I will say the Horizon games always feel like a perfect pick up and play racing game. Not something that you're just going to rinse for days and days and days and be done with it. It's kind of give it an hour here, hour there, kind of a thing.
Yeah. That's how I'm playing it, and that's why it took me almost 3 years to finish Horizon 4.
And there's always stuff to do, right? I mean, even if you've done everything, it has dailies and weekly things for you to do. So every week there's these certain challenges, like you do these certain races or jumps or speed traps or whatever, and you get cars which you can only get through doing those weeklies. Which is quite
it was
cool.
The whatchamacallit, wasn't it? The Back to the Future DeLorean.
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, that was the first game that came in a shit case. It was Forza 5 that started it.
Cool, man. So that's what you played, Nicky, right?
Yeah.
So what about you, Darren?
Well, just a few bits of the usual. I'll start off with a moan.
Oh, good.
Shockingly. Yeah. Fortnite.
I thought you were going to moan about someone else, but okay.
No. Fortnite did an update the other week for obviously their new season. I talked about it, I think, during the 100th show, where I sort of had the season pass and stuff from buying one of the months of the Fortnite crew or whatever the hell it's called, and ended up getting a couple of characters and both the season passes. But yeah, they did an update this week, just gone.
Yeah.
Which has completely fucking destroyed my control scheme. I can no longer change my weapons or change to my pickaxe. Brilliant. Absolutely timeless. So you're supposed to tap Y to switch between your weapons and hold the Y button down to change between your pickaxe, and then when you tap it again, it switches back to your gun. Now it just ricochets, you push it. It's as though you're mashing the button repeatedly. And the only way to fix it is to try and change to a completely different control scheme where you use L, B, and RB to switch between your guns in some horrible control scheme that I think is like the one they use for the actual Battle Royale rather than the original Fortnite.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's fun. And then they did an update for it the other week, which I thought was going to fix it. No, it didn't.
I think I seriously think you need to stop playing this game and just concentrate on better games, mate.
No, it is a fun game, and it's responsive, and the shooting's good, and all the things are there. Like, Epic are good at doing certain things with a lot of their games.
Yeah.
But they just obviously can't be bothered to fix massive issues like that, where they completely fuck the entire control scheme. Like, I literally have to go into matches, and while I'm in a game, pause, go to my settings, scroll all the way down, completely change to a different control scheme, save it, come out, just to change to my pickaxe. And then when I want to change back to a weapon, go back in, change it all again. It's frustrating. So at the moment, I'm just running around using one gun, and I'm shooting everything to farm it. Like, I can't change to my pickaxe while there's shit going on. There isn't enough time.
Silly.
So yeah, downloaded this to and they added the Resident Evil characters a few months ago. I looked, I was like,
but they've actually
added those.
That was like 18 to it now.
And that was like 18 quid to buy them, and I'm like, nope. So I uninstalled it.
Well, they had to make their money, didn't they?
Well, I purchased Jill Valentine, I think, as a thing, because obviously you earn V-Bucks. If you had Save the World way back in the day, you can earn V-Bucks for your dailies.
Right.
Oh,
so I just end up getting thousands per week or month or whatever doing that. So,
okay.
Yeah, they've added Kate and Marcus Phoenix to it now, which is quite funny because Cliffy B was on Twitter saying so. Basically, Microsoft bought those characters from Epic so they could continue using them for their franchise. And then basically Epic purchased them back to be able to use them in Fortnite as characters.
That's funny.
It's a funny old world sometimes.
Yeah.
But obviously he was involved with those. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's actually really been much else. Valhalla, I've been mucking about with, obviously, per usual. But obviously,
Yeah.
Sorry?
I was going to say, obviously, you've been playing Endwalker.
Yes, that's been my main game this week, when I can get on it, which is... It's through no fault of the game itself. It's just the way it is. We've mentioned this last week and the week before, and it's been an ongoing issue where there's so many people playing the game at the moment, and they've had like these record numbers, and you can be in queues like I was this week for 3 to 3.5 hours to log into a game.
Well, this is one of the thing I was going to be moaning about myself, Darren, is obviously I'm someone that, I've got a family and kids to think about, right? So I need to be able to just, if I'm saying to the missus, if I'm going to say to the missus, I'm going to jump on my PC for an hour, I want to be able to get into a game, and then log out and then maybe come on again 4 or 5 hours later. Well, the problem is with Final Fantasy 14, if you try and log on at any time after, say, 10 a.m. in the morning, you're looking at queuing up for hours on end just to get in the fucking game. So I'll log in at, say, 7 in the morning, I'll do a couple of hours, great, and then I'll have to log off to, obviously, as a dad, spend time with my kids, etc., and then I know I'm not going to be able to get on the game for the rest of the day, which is ridiculous, And this is the thing that has really pissed me off, because I moaned about this with New World, right? And that's kind of expected with a game like New World, because you pay for the game and that's it. You're not paying any monthly subscription. What pisses me off about this is I've paid for the expansion at 50 quid, right? Just for the expansion. And then we're paying a monthly fee of £8 a month to play the fucking game. And you can't fucking get logged on to play the game. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is why he's given everyone free play time, isn't he? Because of the issues. So they are aware of it. I know what they're saying, and I understand that, right? But in my eyes, I'm paying for a service, right? I think I would say it's unacceptable to have it in that state, And a lot of Final Fantasy players are in a similar situation to me, because a lot of Final Fantasy players play Final Fantasy 14 because it's you can play it as a casual, You know, you don't have to be in it every day, doing stuff every day. You can play it like I do, just enjoy the story and do the odd other bits every now and again or whatever. If I have to wait 4 or 5 hours to leave my computer on to fucking just queue up to get in the game, that is just wrong, man. Bullshit. Shouldn't be like that.
They must have known. So, say, even if you don't subscribe for a few months or something, they've still got your data on there, so they know. I take it you guys have mostly bought the new expansions every time they've, the last few have come out.
Well, we've been playing it since the day it come out in 2013, mate.
The beta on the PS3.
So they know how many people are going to come back to the game to play that content who have done last time. Especially when you pay monthly, that is wrong. You shouldn't. And like I said, anything longer than 10 minutes is unacceptable for something you pay for. I think they're pretty much, so when you say, there could be new players, well, are the new players playing the content you guys are playing? Probably not.
No, but
you can only have so many people logged into the game at a set at a time, because obviously each world has a max population.
No, but they just add more servers and just add more stuff.
Yeah, they've tried. They went to purchase servers last year, but they've been denied because of the bloody silicon shortage.
This is the problem with the game. It's not hosted on a cloud provider like Azure or Amazon Web Services or whatever. It's they've actually owned their own server farms for Final Fantasy XIV.
Which is why it works well when you're actually logged into it.
Yeah, that's if you can get logged in. But the problem is, obviously, they've oversubscribed the servers. There's loads of people trying to log in, and you can't get on. And it's just really pissing me off, because I really want to play the game, and I can't just jump on. Like last night, I really wanted to come on, but I fucking couldn't. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, and it wouldn't be so bad, as I say, if I wasn't paying a monthly fee to play the fucking game. But because they're making a lot of money, right? And it's just wrong, in my opinion. It's really pissing me off.
Bought the expansion, they should just be given an extra month or even 2 extra months free.
I can see if it goes on for a few more days or another week, it's going to be maybe a month sub for everyone and whatnot.
I mean, it needs it, and
the game that's suffering from success.
It is, it's more popular than it's ever been. I mean, I read that they added another 1 million subscribers in the last month, so they've had a big surge. But the problem is, though, Darren, is all these new accounts, if they haven't bought the latest expansion with it, if they're brand new players, they've got free play time, haven't they? Up to like a certain level or whatever. So a lot of these people are playing it.
60, I heard, because I'm one of those people who downloaded it, and I thought, oh well, I can't even log on because no one else can log on, so I assume I can't either.
Yeah, but all these new players aren't fucking paying anything. That's the thing, we're paying people. We should be able to play it. Oh, it's crazy. Anyway, it's moan over from me.
But yeah, I had the same issue. Like, I'd log in the morning, play it for a couple of hours, go to work, come home like with gritted teeth, knowing that I'll start queuing in the afternoon and I won't get on until like half hour before I'm going to make my food to eat for the evening.
Yep.
How long do you not move before
half an hour
kicks you?
If you're idle for 30 minutes, you get booted.
Yeah,
but that's only something that they've sort of like. They only have that when the servers are starting to get overloaded. Like, otherwise, it's disabled.
Yeah, and they've even sussed out the mouse thing that I had this thing on my computer where it clicked my mouse every like a couple of seconds or whatever. But they've sussed that and they kicked me anyway, bastards.
So yeah. I've been playing it obviously a fair bit. I am in what I would believe I'm just about to start the 4th and final act, because I believe this is kind of technically in like 4 parts.
I mean, it's long, isn't it, Dan? I mean, I've noticed that you've maxed out your main character.
Yeah, I maxed out my main by about when I was still in the level 84, 85 quests, because I was doing fates and other bits and bobs anyway. It's just one of those things, and doing a few sort of side missions here and there.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, you sort of think to yourself, like, oh, this isn't taking too long to go through. And then when you think back, you're like, oh, that did take a long old time, and all these other bits and bobs. But every single one of these acts so far has been fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like what you've just finished, I would have expected to have been the very end of the game, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's 6 new areas, right? And I'm only up to the moon. So there's 3 areas that I've been to.
I still haven't unlocked the last zone, and I believe I'm about to go back to unlock the other half of one of the earlier zones.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I know you. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this expansion, I would say, then, is probably the biggest one in regards to story content that they've pushed out, to be honest.
I would probably say so, yes, because obviously if you look at a lot of the other stories in the expansions, they're good and they're big, but a lot of the side questy stuff is kind of more filler.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of it in this is very involved with the story, and they've done that, I've noticed, over as the years have gone on. A lot of the side story stuff is very relevant to the actual stuff that's going on in the actual quest at the moment.
That's very good.
But yeah, this, to me, if this goes down a way, this could possibly be one of the greatest game stories I've played, full stop. Like, I want to see a load of documentaries on this game when it's actually all done. And obviously they can talk about the actual story without ruining it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because I want to know how much they had in place all those, like that 10 years ago.
Yeah, wow,
with the story to how it... Because there's one of the areas you will go to in this is so, like, oh, wow, this character, like, it's amazing. Like, it's probably my favourite zone in the game.
Right.
And I was just kind of sitting there, like, gushing yesterday in chat with someone when I was playing it, and he was like, shut up. I said, look, I'm not trying to say spoilers. And then I bumped into some other people, but I was just like, how they've done, like, the characters and the development for characters and stuff, and it's nothing short of incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, a lot of Final Fantasy fans will say that this is the best Final Fantasy story by far. And just on another little bit of news, Final Fantasy Endwalker Expansion is actually the highest rated game on Metacritic this year.
Which is crazy, because Shadowbringers was like phenomenal as well.
It was,
that was
brilliant.
An amazing story, and that was highly lauded, and people seem to like this even more.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a finishing act, and I'm used to a lot of media and things nowadays kind of stumbling at the final hurdle.
Yeah.
Kind of screwing the pooch, as it were. But so far it hasn't done that. I have been through a mangle of emotions while I'm playing this game, and it still isn't finished.
Well, and I know we've mentioned this before, Darren, but you know, we've got a different experience to this than, say, guys like Wes, who only got into it a little while ago, so he started the game from scratch maybe earlier on this year, and they're going through it all quite fast, whereas we've gone through it all over 8 years, right? The characters have grown, things have happened.
I wouldn't say just that. There are a lot of people that have become very attached to obviously the characters and stuff. And for them, they might even have more of a vibrant idea of everything that's going on, because they've consumed all of this a while back. Whereas, like, there might be something that I've read that a character said at some point where I'm kind of like, the name rings a bell, but I don't know where from.
Yeah,
because it might have been something that was mentioned 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. But you know, it's something because we've gone through the stories at that pace and watched the characters growing over years and years and years. You get a different emotional attachment, right? And the only thing The only thing that I could kind of... I was thinking about this today, actually. Funnily enough, Darren. The only thing that I can compare it to, and you're going to laugh, is the TV show Friends, right? And the only reason... Well, no, the only reason I say that is because I've actually very recently... I binged watched every single season, and I finished the last episode again today. I've been watching the episodes while I've been doing my kitchen duties, you know, washing up and making dinners and stuff like that. So I've actually, because I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, because my missus very rarely cooks or washes up, I have to do it all. I've gone through it quite quick. And I was thinking to myself, I remember watching this initially, and it spanned over 10 years. Right, it was a season, 10 seasons, obviously a season a year. And I remember, you know, when I originally watched the show, and because it was in that staggered format, you had a show a week or whatever, and then you talk to your mates about it. So, and there's that slow progression of getting to know the characters and all the things happen. You get a different emotional response than when you just binge something. You really do. And that's why I say, yes, you can still get attached to all the characters playing through Final Fantasy, doing all the expansions in, say, a year, because it is a fucking big game now. It'll take you a long time to get through it all. But when you've done it at a slower pace and you've experienced it through those 8 years, it's just a different emotional response because, you know, of the length of time, you know. That's my opinion, because, like, You've different things happen in real life. Like, I'll remember, you know, it's like music, right? So I'll attach, like, when I first started playing Final Fantasy 13 to when I left the prison service, because that's the same year I left, is when the game came out, you know, and then something happens maybe in my life when another expansion comes out, something like that. So you get other emotional responses hitting you, you know, through different periods of playing the game as well, right?
They do, in the last act I did, such an amazing job with basically kind of third wall breaking, in a sense, with you, the player, but also examining the psyches of so many different characters, where their minds are at, what they're actually really like as a person. And a lot of these characters you're seeing in a new light for the first time.
Oh, that's quite cool.
And you can see how certain negative emotions just really change someone's personality to their very core.
Ooh, interesting.
It's so good. It is.
How long is this game then? Like, just the main story?
Oh my god!
1,000 hours, mate.
Well, I looked on how long to beat, and this was before that says it hasn't got the latest one, but they said solo's 240 hours.
Yeah, I suppose if you main rush all the quests and stuff, I don't know. I'd say probably 300 to 400 hours or so, but even then, you're really sort of taking it in. This isn't a game to sort of like really rush through per se. I mean, I've tried not to rush through it myself. I've tried to take my time. I've seen people running up, hitting a cutscene, and then just quitting out of it and running off to the next bit because they don't care about the story. And I'm like,
what?
This is the best part. Like, you literally, and you'll get some people that'll be like, oh, I'll just rewatch it all in the in room, because you can go back and read the Never-Ending Journey, and you can rewatch all the cutscenes and stuff, which I can't wait to do later on. Like, once obviously this story sort of wraps up.
I might have to go back and watch some of the early stuff again, just for a little bit of a reminder as well.
To be even weirder, there's videos on YouTube actually showing off like all of the cutscenes from 1.0.
Wow.
Which still, lore-wise, tie in to the entirety of 2.0 and onwards. So all of that stuff in 1.0 is still part of the official history and lore of the characters and of the game.
I've never watched any of that because I never played the original.
It's different. Watch it, because a lot of it is motion captured.
That's so weird. I might actually set aside a good 10 hours because it would take a long time. I might actually set aside some time to watch those, actually, because I think that would be really interesting. And it'd be nice to go back and watch.
You bump into Gaius.
Wow,
and you have
so
conversations
cool.
with Gaius, but obviously the main villain, I believe, of 1.0 was Nail.
No idea that. Oh, Niall, you mean?
Who's a character, Nail, who basically turns up as a character in the Binding Coil.
Right. I need to go and watch these. Okay, I'm going to do it. Cheers, Darren. I'm going to do it. Cool.
If you play this, do you have to pick a server that you two are on? You know what I mean?
You can, and you can actually move characters around servers and stuff like that now, like by visiting other worlds. But while all this is going on, you might be logging in on another server. But ideally, you want to be on a server that your friends are on. Because that way you can join
in the new year when
that way you can join FCs and stuff. Join free companies and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and I know people kind of switch off when they listen to this when they listen to the podcast, but you know, for me personally, you know, I mean, I played a lot of World of Warcraft when it came out, and this for me, Final Fantasy 14 is the best MMO I've ever played, and probably the best RPG story-wise that I've ever played as well. And I've had a lot of life moments. You know, I married my wife in it as well, and you know, it's a game. It's really weird to explain. Right, look, when I log on, and I always go back to my home starting city and have a wander around because I like to go that way to get the flight to the Golden Saucer to do my lottery and stuff like that. When I go back to my main starting city, it always feels like I'm coming home. You know, because it's like I've known that place for 8 years, you know, and it always feels so alive. People running around and stuff. I'm just like, you know, it feels like home. There's no other way to explain it, man. It's so cool.
It'd be interesting as well, in another sense, to see if any other game actually kind of manages to pull this off again, because this is a story that's obviously been told over a decade. And has been well received by players, has an active player base that's continuously growing. And how many more sort of MMOs years down the line are going to be able to tell a story over this amount of time with this much effort and stuff put into it? I mean, you can buy 2 ginormous encyclopedias of world history and character history that I both own for this game as well.
It's mad, isn't it? It is absolutely insane. But the one thing I will say, though, Darren, is I think the developers took a few hints from Hideo Kojima in this expansion, because there's some of the cutscenes are really fucking long.
Yes and no. I've had a few bits where it says to me, like, please set aside a little bit of time to view these cutscenes in their entirety, and haven't actually been sat there for too long, to be honest.
I felt like they've been ages, but that's just me. But no, I don't mind it at all. But yeah, I mean, you're right about the history and the lore. I mean, I've got a load of Final Fantasy 14 books myself. Obviously, I don't have them all, but just I've got some of the art ones, and they're really, really nice. But yeah, they've built a whole history and a world on this, and there's some really good Wikipedia sites as well.
Even when like listening to the music, like knowing that Soken, the game's composer, was probably in hospital receiving cancer treatment when he was doing a lot of those musical themes and things.
Oh, wow.
It's like, holy shit. Because he actually did say, like, in the ending part of the keynote, when he revealed to everyone that he was basically in hospital with cancer getting treatment and stuff, that he poured himself into his work at hospital because no one could go in and visit him or see him because of the COVID restrictions.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, so he just completely threw himself into his work to keep himself going, to give him a reason to carry on.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
It's just like, at the moment, it is like the perfect team. They've got like a real dream team there of people that actually do that. And also, a group of people that respect their competition as well. Yeah. They've never once slagged off any other MMOs or sort of had they've had playful jabs at each other, like back and forth, like that and Warcraft, which are kind of the big two. But both of them have always held like some sort of like respect for each other, because they are technically their own separate kind of games. One's a very fantastical Japanese RPG, and the other one's more of a traditional sword and sorcery medieval kind of MMO. So
the other thing I do want to say about Final Fantasy 14 as well is the community is absolutely fantastic. You know, I have I've had a lot of toxic experiences when playing World of Warcraft, be it doing in dungeons or just generally just asking things in the area chat or whatever. But in Final Fantasy, you don't really seem to get that. You know, I was lost on the moon area today, and I just put in the shout, "Oh, help! Can someone help me? I'm stuck. I don't know where to go." And then within 30 seconds, someone had invited me, to a party and said, "Oh, follow me. I know exactly where you need to go." And that, and I found that was really nice. And then we did a trial, which is like just a big boss fight for those people that don't know today. And I was getting really pissed off it because it was really hard. But that's because everyone in that party, apart from one person, it was their first time, so they were learning it. And the main guy done it a few times. Was saying, "Look, don't worry about it. I've done it before. I know how hard it is. Just follow me." And everyone was really nice. It took us like five or six goes, and they can be quite
It's like I've always thought that most mechanics in those kind of games, in most of the RPGs or MMOs, they're like a beautiful dance. Once you know the steps, everyone improves, everyone gets better. You get that little bit further. Yeah, it can be disheartening when you get like them down to like the last 5%, and then all of a sudden your healers both get knocked unconscious, and you're like, "Jeez."
Yeah, that's it.
And you've got to start all the way back at the start and go through the phases again, and etc. etc. But you just start to notice everyone like suddenly like knowing where to stand, knowing where to go, knowing to do this, and it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
In those games when you feel the entire group getting better, like working through it, rather than just like failing once. "Oh, fucking you're all shit, mate," and you get a load of people leave.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't help anyone. It's just like, no, help people get through it, help pass your knowledge on to other people, which will then pass it on to other people.
Yeah.
We can all get through this, and then we can all probably start, because there's so many people out there at the moment that probably just want to talk about the story and what's gone on and theorize and all this kind of stuff, but everyone's at different stages in the story, especially with people struggling to log in currently. Well, but yeah, I'm not going to take up any more time because we've probably bored everyone after tears. So that'll be me done anyway for now.
All right, brilliant. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm literally going to take a 2-minute break because I want to go and grab another drink, and then I'm going to whiz through my games played because we've actually talked about most of the games I've played already, and then a little bit of news from the Game Awards, etc. And then a couple of questions that we've got, and then that'll be it. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. See you shortly.
Did you watch the Game Awards, Nicky?
Yeah, well, I was at work on a night shift, so I just watched it for 3 hours. But obviously I'm not going to do any work, so I just had it on my Bluetooth headphones, so I sort of listened to it. There weren't much, was there, really? I didn't really pay much attention to the actual awards and stuff, apart from the Resident Evil 8 voice actor for Lady D. When she come on in her black dress, I was like, "Oh my god, you're Darren Love it, yeah."
All right. I didn't actually watch any of it. I just sort of like caught up with a lot of it on my phone per se.
I just couldn't believe like it was 3 hours long. I was like, "Come on, video game nerds can't go 3 hours."
Well, if they can, if they're constantly being forced, like drip fed, like quality stuff they've been looking forward to.
Yeah, I can't remember what there was one game I liked the look of, and then they said it's PC only and it's going to early access. I'm like, some of the people who worked on Dragon Age when it was at EA, they sort of left the studio and buggered off and made their own studio.
All right.
Dragon Age and BioShock.
People, yeah,
a lot of them have gone off, and I'm like, I don't mind. I can play PC games, but early access just a lot of hassle. And I was like, I want to play a game when it's done. I can't be asked to. Some of those games are in early access for bloody years, isn't they?
Well, some of them never actually technically come out of early access. I mean, Fortnite was in beta period for at least 2.5 to 3 years, I believe. They used to always still say beta when you used to play it.
Beta or beta?
Fortnite, bloody awful.
Right, shall we carry on?
Your games.
Okay, so I played a few games this week. Not loads. We've talked about most of them already. Well, some of them already. So, first of all, I'm going to just tell everyone that I have now completed Far Cry 6. Hey. At long last. I really enjoyed it. It was so freaking awesome. It really, really was.
Paying for it as well.
Well, I did. I paid for a month of Uplay Plus, mate, which cost me, what was it, 12 quid?
How many months did you play it for?
Oh, about 7 weeks, right? Yeah, so if you missed the beginning of the show, when I was talking about this, and last week's show as well, on PC you can sign up for Uplay Plus, which is a monthly fee, a bit more. It's basically like Game Pass, but for Ubisoft games. So you get access to the Ultimate Editions of every single Ubisoft game as part of the monthly service. So I signed up for a month to play Far Cry 6. Anyway, I only managed to play it for a few weeks because obviously Forza came out and Halo came out, so I got a bit distracted, and then my Uplay Plus subscription ran out, but the Ubisoft application on my PC will still allow me to play the games that I had downloaded through Uplay Plus. So I thought, right, before they cotton onto this, I'm going to bang through Far Cry 6. So I completed it on Monday afternoon, which was the day after last week's podcast recording. And I have to say, this is easily in my top 5 games of the year. If you haven't picked up Far Cry 6 or on the fence about it, check it out. Especially if you're into Far Cry games. I'd say this is probably one of the best Far Cry games I have ever played. The story in itself is absolutely fantastic. The main characters are so well done. And just the whole world in itself is just so beautifully crafted. You know, the graphics are amazing. The sounds are amazing. It's like even simple things like when you get in a vehicle and the radio station's playing, all the music feels very to that setting, if that makes sense. You know, and it all just pulls you through at a nice pace as well, you know, from doing the main missions and the side missions. I mean, towards the end of the game, I was just like, I just want to push through. But they do it in such a way where the story just pulls along quite nicely with the cutscenes with the main character, and then you actually doing some of the gameplay stuff and the other characters involved. I mean, it's really hard to talk about without spoiling it, but I'm not going to spoil it because it is very well done. But I would say it's basically Cuba in all but name, to be honest. And it's all about the revolution, you know, and you got all you know, and you're part of the rebels, and you're trying to get these different rebel factions to actually work together to overthrow the dictator. Because he's enslaved most of the population to make this drug, that the USA is actually partly involved in paying off the government to get the drug because it's a cure for what helps with cancer treatment, blah, 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 blah. It's all just very, very well done, to be honest. It's very immersive. It really, really is. You do I found when I was playing it, just so sucked into the world and just the story, and I wanted to know what happened next. It just kept on pulling me along. It's just such a fantastic game. If I'd paid the full 40 or 50 quid for this, I would have been more than happy getting to the conclusion. Time-wise, it took me around 30-ish hours to finish, which is actually quite a decent amount of time, to be fair. And I didn't do half the side stuff in the game. I couldn't be bothered. But yeah, it was really, really good. The only little annoyance I had towards the end of the game was because I got to a point where I wasn't really doing a lot of the side stuff. When you get to certain points in the story, the level requirement for certain areas goes up. So you have to do side missions to level your character up to a certain level to make the enemies bearable in these certain zones, because otherwise they're too high level and you do hardly any damage, etc., etc. But apart from that slight annoyance, this game is absolutely brilliant. Very, very highly up there for me for this year's games. Okay.
I think a few people will probably be picking it up for Christmas, or if not, looking out for it in the Christmas sales and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Ubisoft title, right? It's going to be in sales. You're about to pick it up at some quite decent prices, I imagine.
Is the bad guy in it quite a lot? Like, who's in Breaking Bad, or is he just in it at the start and right at the end, like a lot?
No, he's in it all the way through the game, all the way through, and he does such a great job.
That's good, because a lot of the times in some of the others, you barely see the main bad guy, because you see all the other bad guys that you have to kill to unlock whatever area, and then you finally see him at the last minute. But he's in it quite a lot then.
He's in it quite a lot, and he does an absolutely fantastic job.
Why would you hire him, and then not want to use him in your game properly?
I
know what Nicky's saying, and that has been experienced in a lot of games.
Yeah, it was like
the older Far Cry games. That's generally what I think. 3 had the guy with the mohawk who was in it quite a bit, and then 4 and 5, the main, it was the guy with the pink suit, wasn't in it a lot. It's and 5th, I think 5 was. I think you had all the brothers in 5, though, the Seed brothers. The main one, you hardly saw him as well, but that's good. He's in it quite a lot. Yeah,
it's really good. So obviously I finished the story, and then it has that old open world Ubisoft trope, right? So you finish the game, and then you watch the credits and all that bollocks, and then you're dropped back in the world, and it's like, oh, now you can do your weeklies, which Darren would love. It's very much like The Division. You've got these certain enemies dotted around the map. You have to go and kill them all and raid and save these people and raid these military installations.
There's a shop, isn't there, that you buy stuff with the dailies and the weeklies and all that lot, I believe.
Yeah. So it's all that's in there, but I can never be asked with any of that. Like I get to the end of the game, I finish the story, and I'm like, right, delete it, move on to the next thing. Which is perfectly fine. It is just a fantastic experience, and I really would like more people to give it a go. So there's that out of the way. I'd just like to mention as well that myself and my little boy are still playing through A Little Big Planet. I don't know why I got that, because it's Sackboy. Sackboy's Big Adventure for the PlayStation 5. So we completed the game, but we haven't properly completed it, because now we're going back through all the levels and collecting all the orbs, because there's secret orbs on each level. So Marcus is not going to be happy, he said, until we get all the orbs. So we've got to get all the orbs, because once you finish the main story of the game, there's more levels that you can't unlock unless you get all the orbs in the game. So yeah, that's kind of our mission at the moment, and it's proving quite challenging. I've had to use a YouTube guide for a couple of levels because some of them are hidden very well.
Do you want to know one of the most depressing things in gaming that I can actually remember from back in the day? And I'm sure it was this Super Mario World or Super Mario 64. Remember, like, you could get all of the gold stars on all the levels?
Yes, that was Mario 64,
and do you know what you got?
I can't remember.
Loads of lives. Tons of extra lives. And I remember saying at the time, I think that's what it was, like, why the fuck do I want those when I'm completely done with the game now?
Yeah, it's just a big troll one. I know what you mean. Don't you climb up the castle and then you go in there and that's like, congratulations, you've done everything. Have 100 lives or something. You're like,
have a load of lives. You're done with the game now. You don't need to go back into any of the levels because you've just got everything. But yeah, it's a ton of lives.
That's funny. That is funny. But yeah, man. I mean, it's given us some enjoyment. It's a good co-op game, couch co-op game to play. So, yeah, it's good. And it was his birthday this week, just gone. So I got him Super Mario Maker 2 for the Switch because he kept on banging on about it because he kept on seeing people playing it on YouTube Kids. And we've been having fun on that. We haven't made any levels yet. We've just been having fun playing through the levels. I've had to help him quite a bit though because some of those levels are really difficult that people make. But there's some really good, wonderful, wacky creations that people make on Mario Maker 2. And he's obsessed with Mario at the minute. He had to have a Mario birthday cake, and I've bought him Paper Mario for Christmas. So he's going to be enjoying that because, again, he's been watching people play that on YouTube, and he's like, "Oh, Daddy, I want Paper Mario." So I'm like, "Oh no, I'll have," and that's a nice excuse for me to buy him a game that I can play when he's asleep.
So I think that was on sale recently. I saw it on for 25 quid.
I bought it off eBay for 22 quid, mate. Bargain.
I'll tell you what game I recently picked up for a dirt cheap price for someone else.
Go on.
Back for Blood.
It's on Game Pass, mate.
Well, yeah, but this is like the PS5 version.
How much?
Like 19 quid. Brand new.
Decent. That's really good, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
do you want me to pick this up for you in the sale? He was like, fucking yeah.
Nice.
For that price.
Excellent, yeah. Right, mate. Too right.
He said for that price, I could probably play it for a week and trade it in and get like 15, 20 quid back for it.
Nice, yeah. Well, I'm going to move on because I've got a few more games. So myself, Peebs and Stunty attempted on Friday night to complete Back for Blood. Funnily enough, just mentioned it. And they still haven't patched the difficulty. It's stupidly hard. Like, we can clear the tentacle portion quite easily, but then there's a bit where you go underground to fight this boss, and it was literally on a couple of times you slide down this like hole, and literally we get into the main area, and within 2 seconds we're all on the floor dead. That's how fucking stupid it is. You're trying to fight this big boss, and you've got all the special enemies just running at you along with all the other zombies as well. It's like, it's just stupidly too many enemies. You just get overwhelmed. So, yeah.
It all depends on the cards you're getting as well.
Yeah, I understand that, but still, it's just...
Because you do get some people like, oh, and you're just like, oh, what cards did you have? Did you have like the armoured zombies that deal twice as much damage? Did you have like the increase in specials? Did you have... Probably not. No, did you? Because like we had that, because you'll jump on one night and you'll sail for a couple of levels and you're having loads of fun, and then you'll jump on it another night and the game's like, you shall not pass, like, just full stop.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to move on because that game's been pissing me off.
It's getting an update at some point this month, which is supposed to sort some other bits and bobs out, do a card rebalancing, and actually allow you to play the game with bots and get progress and unlocks.
They need to make the easy mode actually easy and not rock solid. That's just us being old nubs, maybe, is what most people think, but it's ridiculously hard, so it needs sorting out. Okay, moving on then. Just give me a second. My bloody glasses are dirty. hate wearing glasses. I need to get some laser eye surgery. Right. Okay, so we all know about xCloud's game streaming service, right? You can do it on your phone, your console, and on your PC. I decided to try the streaming on a game which you wouldn't think would have much trouble streaming, right? Lawn Mowing Simulator. Right.
You can play that in real life.
I know. Well, I was actually kind of sick of queuing up for Final Fantasy. I think I was queuing up for Final Fantasy at the same time, actually. So I wanted something to play while I was queuing up. But I wanted to test out the game streaming because, I've got 1 gig broadband, right? So it's very fastest in the UK that you can get commercially. So I thought, I shouldn't have too much trouble on a slow-paced game like Lawn Mower Simulator. Oh my god, the picture quality was pixely as fuck. It was really pixely the whole time. I had this weird line going up and down the screen all the time, like when it was trying to refresh what I was doing. And all I was doing was sitting on a lawnmower, mowing a lawn. And I was just like, they need to sort this xCloud out, man. It's fucking awful.
I think that's just the internet in general, full stop. I mean, like, I used a few streaming services over the years, and some nights they're fine, and other days you're watching something like in 720p, and then it just drops down to like 144p or something.
Yeah,
like horrendous quality, and you're like, what is this? Like,
yeah.
The technology isn't there yet. Like, full stop. It can't even bloody stream a video like properly that's actually pre-recorded and sitting on a server, let alone like actually streaming a game in real time. Like, get the fuck out. Not interested.
So anyway, I did the first level, and I have to say, it was so boring. I don't understand how people can get into these games, because you're literally sitting on a sit-down mower, mowing a lawn, putting the mower back, and then getting your little strimmer out and strimming the edges. And I was just like, who finds this entertaining? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Seriously.
Trim the edges as well.
Yeah, you have a little strim and you trim the edges. Yeah.
I'm loading this now.
Yeah, it's like I'm in.
When you said that, trim the edges, I'm all for that, mate. That's my favourite part.
Mate, it is.
Do you use like a hoe and do the edges as well, or is it just that too?
No, it's just the cutting the grass. So it is.
It's not gardening simulator then.
No, it's called. That's what it's called, lawnmower simulator.
Sells like really. It must sell like really well. Is it farming simulator?
Yeah, that sells well.
They bring one of them out every year, don't they?
And I don't understand why people play that either, because it's fucking boring. I've tried it, and I was just like, oh my god, what the hell is wrong with people?
Maybe it's for people who always wanted to sort of run a farm but didn't want to deal with like the smell and the actual financial hardship.
Oh yeah, true. So yeah, I just wanted to briefly mention that. I don't want to talk about it any further because it is shite, and the Game Pass streaming service is also shite. Cool. Right, last few games I've been playing, and obviously Halo we talked about, but the other game that we don't really hear much about, apart from if you're in our Discord and Clarky's in there, is Battlefield 2042. So I've been playing that a little bit this week, and I'm having fun with it. So Clarky sadly hasn't been around in the evening, so I've been going on solo, and they've actually added rush mode onto the main maps now, which I haven't actually tried yet because I do enjoy a bit of conquest mode. And I have to say, the game's been patched again, and the stability is getting better and better. I'm getting over 60 FPS most of I'd say 90% plus of the time. There's a few dips every now and again, but that crazy chaos of Battlefield is there. You know, it's 128 players. Stuff is happening all around, you know, people in planes and helicopters and in tanks and driving around on their buggies and stuff like that, or you're running around, and it's just all the crazy weather things happening, like tornadoes, and you've got big buildings that you can get up to on lifts and stuff, and it's just when you're in those epic battles, it does feel very immense at times. You know, you're looking there, especially if you're on top of a building looking down, you're thinking, fuck me, all this stuff is going on just below me. It's absolutely insane. And I think a lot of people, especially in our community, have just got a bit jaded in our old age with gaming, to be honest. I know people have been moaning about it's not like the good old days, blah, blah, blah. And I would say, like, yeah, part of that is true, but if you look past that and you look past some of the issues that Battlefield had on launch, it's actually a fun game to play. And I know a lot of people were upset it doesn't have a campaign, but, you know, most of us played the Battlefield 3 and 4 and Bad Company games, especially for the multiplayer. And the fun times and the modern era stuff of the Battlefield is in this as well. And obviously you've got the option of the portal mode to play, you know, those old maps and game modes anyway with Battlefield 1942, Bad Company and Battlefield 3 maps and game modes anyway. But the new mode is actually, you know, it has come along, to be honest. You know, as I say, it's more stable now. The graphics are very decent. I like the fact that you can chop and change your attachments on the fly. I really, really like that addition, to be honest. And, you know, I've been having fun with it, just playing it on my own, just in random squads. And it's really cool just seeing the cross-play working really well, because when you're playing and you've got your squads and they have the little symbols if they're on an Xbox or a PlayStation or PC. And that's really, really good as well. You know, and it's just that classic funness with, I mean, Conquest with Battlefield games has always been my favourite game mode anyway, and it's just I really enjoy that chaos that ensues. You know, you're on a big map and you're capturing the objectives and there's all that crazy stuff happening around you. I really, really do enjoy that. Now, the only thing that does let it down slightly, and I have mentioned this before, is just the fact that they have operators, because most people play as the same few operators anyway. Mainly they play the dude who has the grappling hook, so when you look at your squad at the end of the round, everyone's the same fucking character, and it just feels a bit jarring. You're like, oh, right, it's just a bit weird. Like, you know, have I got quintupplets on my team or what?
Effects, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But if you look past that, the actual core gameplay in itself is really, really good. It's all there from the old Battlefield games, you know. The Levolution is there, the weather effects are there. Just that crazy funness is just there. And I think because it got such a poor reception at launch, because it launched in a very poor state, it probably hasn't sold very well. And people are refusing to pick it up. It's not priced that well on console either. The cheapest I've seen it on console is like 60 quid, which I think is a lot of money. Whereas on PC, as I mentioned last week, I picked up for 34. But you know, if you do have Game Pass, you get the 10 hours. You can try it out like that. And as I say, you know, I've been having a lot of fun playing it on my own with randoms, but, you know, I have played games with Clarky, and we've had a hell of a lot of fun in Party Chat playing it together, just like the good old days of Battlefield, right? You know, and I'd really love to see that come back. And I know a lot of people are on the fence. I know a lot of people are on the fence with picking up Battlefield at the moment because of all the issues surrounding the game, and I fully understand that. But to be honest, I think it's in a playable state now. I do think it's in a good state that, you know, if four of us jumped on and got a squad on the team, we would all have a really good fun time like we did in the old days. But not many people in the community have picked it up. I only really know of Clarky and Hogarth that have picked it up. You know, the few games I've played with Clarky, we've had a really good fun time. So I would really love to see more people playing it. Or if you have played it, or if you do own it, let me know, and we'll have some games. But I haven't really seen much chitter-chatter on the Discord about it, so this is why I'm kind of jumping to the conclusion that not many people have picked it up. But if you're a listener and you are playing it, let me know, because me and Clarky are looking for some Battlefield friends. So please, please, please let us know. Okay? And now my Alexa is talking to me in the background, which is really odd. Alexa, stop. Okay, so last few games I've played. Then obviously I like to do my racing. So I'm going to briefly mention that I've played Assetto Competizione. Still really enjoying that. I played some Automobolista 2 as well, which is a new one for me. So I played that with a couple of guys from the community, Leifer and Captive Venom. Really, really enjoyed playing that with them, even though I think I upset them because I kept on crashing into them. But, it's a really good driving sim for multiplayer. Some of the cars are very difficult to drive, but with a little bit of practice, I found myself really getting into it. Worked really well with the steering wheel. Was a really, really good. It's got a really good selection of cars and tracks, which I really, really liked. So I just wanted to briefly mention that. I know, and the last thing I've been playing, literally about a couple of hours before the podcast launched, was Wes convinced me to try out iRacing. Now, iRacing is as I mentioned it, I think last week. It's a racing sim game which has a monthly fee. It's something like £9 or £10 a month or something like that. There was a deal to get 3 months for $5, so it ended up costing me like £3. So I thought I'll check it out for that, just so I can give it a review. It's actually not too bad. Now so all I've done is hang on, I just want to try and find a video. I'm really sorry. So all I wanted to do, what? That's not a fucking beautiful because the graphics aren't good enough. Not too good. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to find a good video. Okay. Let's just do that. There's a really weird dude in the corner, but that's the only one I can find. So the first impressions of iRacing are that the graphics aren't really up to modern standard because the game is actually quite old now. They come out in like 2013, 14, something like that. But it is renowned as being the premium racing simulator because it has real life championships, real life races. It's only aimed for multiplayer esports racing. And it is the game, well, simulator. I can't really call it a game. It is the simulator that all the actual real life racers, from like F1, touring cars, and actually they play in their downtime to like practice racing, right? And they actually and there's all like prize money championships and all that sort of stuff. So it's aimed at that proper simulation, that realism. Now, I've done a couple of tracks. I've tried a couple of different cars, and and if you can put the graphics behind you, everything else is actually very realistic. The sounds are really, really good, and the handling it took me a little while to get the wheel set up how I wanted it, but the handling feels very realistic. Even though it is very difficult because I found myself spinning out a lot. So there's no ABS or anything like that on the cars. So I'm just spinning out and just taking a lot of practice just to even get round a one lap without crashing. But with a little bit of practice can manage to do that. So I haven't actually entered any online races yet, but I will do probably tomorrow. So I'll have a better review of it next week. But my initial impressions are graphics, average. They really need to update those. The car handling is spot on. The sounds are spot on. But the monetization is something that is very off-putting in this game. So I don't think it's going to be a game that I'm actually going to push past the 3 months that I've paid for. Because looking at so it brings you up with once you've installed it, there's like a list of races that you can do. Normally so basically you have to enter them, but you obviously they start at certain times. So like if it's say like 7 o'clock, you need to enter a race that starts at say 8 or whatever. But you get the list of races, and I would say most of them are like, oh, you need to buy the course. So it'll say what if you need to purchase anything to enter this race. So if you don't own the course or the car, you then need to buy them, right? So you know, this is where it gets expensive. So you obviously you pay your monthly fee, right? It's like £12 a month or whatever, and then you got to buy the cars if you want to race these certain cars, and then you got to buy the tracks, right? And so it adds up very quickly. So I've read a few reviews on this game, and and all of them have said for your first year you need to spend a minimum of £750 just to have the essentials to do the races. That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. And I saw this, and the thing that, like, so you can do like practices on your own, and it does it in a way like in a very free to play model. So the first thing I'll ask you is what car you want to choose, and there's no way of filtering it to the cars you own and don't own. You have to go through the whole list of cars, and it'll just have like a little icon on the ones you own. So you have to really like go down the whole list of all the cars, about 100 cars, go down, and then just so you can click on the one that you actually own and can drive. Yeah, which is really shitty. And it's the same with the tracks as well. Like when you pay the monthly fee, you only have a certain amount of tracks, and there's not a big selection there. But you have to go down the whole list just to select the track you want. You know, and there's a lot of tracks to buy. So that is really, really shitty in my opinion, because if you're paying a monthly fee, you shouldn't have to be paying all this extra money for all these cars and tracks as well. I just think it's insane, especially with the game not looking, you know, up to a modern standard as well. Yeah, but apart from that, you know, the handling's cool, the sounds are cool, and I look forward to doing some online races and seeing if I can actually finish any. But yeah, it's good feedback on the wheel though, so that's quite cool. That is all I've been playing. Is Nicky back, or is he still doing a poop?
Then I must be poop.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, should we get into the news?
Yeah, may as well.
Okay, so there has actually been quite a bit of news this week because we had the Game Awards, and I only watched the Game Awards for the announcements. I don't give a frick about who they choose to win Game of the Year and all that bollocks, but I'm going to mention that they did vote for It Takes Two as the Game of the Year, which is actually a worthy Game of the Year nominee, to be honest. It is actually a very, very good title. So that's cool. The player's
don't have
choice.
Anyone to play with, though.
Oh, need some friends. And the player's choice is voted for by the public. Halo Infinite won, even though the campaign hadn't released yet when the voting had finished, which I thought was hilarious.
It's a bit random, that one.
Yeah. So that was quite funny. And best RPG went to Tales of Arise, which I was quite happy about because it's such a great game. But we don't watch it for the winners and that. We give a fuck, do we? We want to know about announcements and shit. So I'm going to briefly mention some that I can be asked to. And so they announced, they showed a trailer for Hellblade Senua's Saga, which is Hellblade 2. Which a lot of people were really excited for. I thought the graphics looked awesome. And as Nicky mentioned earlier, it's in the new Unreal Engine. However, I never got into the original game. I didn't like it. So I won't be playing the second one.
Why don't you like it?
It's just too repetitive for me. It was all like, oh, go to a door. Oh, you need to find these stupid symbols to open the door. Meh, don't do that. I couldn't be fucked.
Yeah, I think the fighting was a bit repetitive as well.
Yeah, it felt very on rails, you know, in those sections, and it just didn't. I mean, the soundscape and the voices in the head and that was really good with the headphones and that, and the graphics were nice. But that's about, in my opinion, that's all it was good for, is the sound and the graphics. The gameplay I just didn't enjoy. Okay. Yeah, okay. Moving on. We saw a trailer for a new Star Wars game called Star Wars Eclipse, which people were excited for, right? I mean, it's being made by... who's the team? It's just gone from my mind. Quantic Dream, who have done which games, people?
Oh, Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain, yes, all the games that Colin loves, all those type of games like Heavy Rain and Fahrenheit.
Games that aren't games, they're movies, and you just press the odd button.
Pretty much, yeah, but they are really good experiences. So, yeah, man, I think because EA have lost the Star Wars license, haven't they? Apparently. So,
I think anyone can pick it up that it's like a discarded used condom on the side of the road these days.
Yes, I'm pretty sure EA lost the contract for Star Wars, and that's why it's gone back to Lucas and Quantic Dream.
I think they just had a 10-year deal and that's finished. I don't think they lost anything. They just decided to not pick it up.
Fair enough. Cool. Okay. I'm probably going to miss some here. Alan Wake 2 has been announced to come out in summer 2022?
23.
It's written 2022 here. That's why I said it in a weird way, because I'm pretty sure they said 2023 in the trailer. But
they didn't say summer or anything. They just said it's coming. And it's only a CGI trailer thing. They didn't show any gameplay or anything. Which is not... I mean, they did the Alan Wake DLC for Control, so I think everyone knew. But you can't really have any secrets, and I think everyone knew they were working on it.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that they are.
Feel good to get confirmation, though.
Yeah. Yep, so that was cool. They showed off a trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, which looks really, really cool. I really enjoyed the first one. So that's awesome. They showed off a gameplay trailer from Horizon Forbidden West, which, I mean, we've seen videos of that in the past anyway, so it's not breaking new ground there. It looks visually stunning. So, yeah, that looks cool. They announced that Final Fantasy VII Remake is finally coming to PC on the 16th of December. However, this has gone on to a bit of other news, which has upset many PC gamers. It's exclusive to the Epic Store, which, I'm not surprised by. But this is a first for PC gaming. £70. 70 English pounds.
It wasn't even that much on the PS5.
It is redonkulous.
Does that come with the extra shit though?
It comes with the UV stuff.
Oh yeah, that's probably why it's £70 then.
But this is the thing, right? So it makes me laugh because Epic take a really small chunk anyway compared to Steam. But also, this comes with other news that Square Enix have announced that going forward, all of their games are now going to be £70 on all platforms.
Oh.
So that other game that they're bringing out...
That's not going to do very well for that fucking whatever that... Is it Forspoken or whatever it is?
So Forspoken is £70. Even on PC. Mate. Yep. I know. I was in shock when I saw that in the news this morning. I was like, "You're having a fucking giraffe, aren't you?"
All the PlayStation boys seem to be happy about paying £70. So it was just a matter of time before someone else started copying.
Oh yeah, I just think it's insane. I mean, that Forspoken game I think looks really good as well. But
the only reason I think they get away with it on PlayStation per se is because they generally give you full games. Like there's no tacked on stuff. You'll get like a full game that generally not the season pass or anything to it. It's a one-off payment.
Yeah.
But for a lot of other games, they're going to hammer you on all this other shit.
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? But the thing is, I mean, it's the only thing on PC is, and I know this is wrong to say, but PC gamers in general aren't used to paying those sort of prices for games.
No, not at all. I mean, PC gamers are used to paying £10 cheaper than everyone else because they don't pay a license fee.
Yeah, and you got websites like CD Keys. We can buy brand new games on launch day for £35, etc. I'm sure that will still happen, right? But it'll be a little bit more expensive.
I've never seen any Epic Store CD keys. I've only ever seen Steam and things like that.
I'm pretty sure I've seen. Actually, I need to double check that. Actually, I think you might be right there, Nicky. I think you might be right, but there's only one that. Well, it depends on what side of the fence you are in regard to piracy. The thing about Epic Store games is the day after release of their games, they're available to pirate anyway. So, in my view, this is only going to push more people to pirate Square Enix games, especially the single player ones, because PC gamers are a different breed. It's not like it's not like they can't afford to pay the £70 for the game. It's the fact that they will pirate the game just as a big fuck you to the company for setting the price at that high. And it's so easy to pirate games these days on PC. It's a piece of cake. So that is all that's going to happen.
I've checked. You can get Epic Games when Nick was wrong.
Well done, Nicky. Thanks for checking.
I wasn't going to be right twice in 2021, was I?
No. Well, so
there's only like 20 games on there. So it's not many, but
no. But what I'm trying to say is, right, if you price your games reasonably and fair, people will buy them. But if people think they're being ripped off, which I think £70 a game is a rip off, people will it's just going to encourage more piracy. That's just my opinion on the matter.
Just vote with your wallets, just don't pay it.
Well, people won't be paying it, they'll be pirating it instead. Anyway, shall we move on to more games announced?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna do them all. I'm just gonna mention the ones I think look quite interesting. Gollum cinematic trailer looks quite interesting. It's a standalone adventure. Looks quite interesting. Cuphead getting some DLC called The Delicious Last Course. I thought that looked really interesting.
Didn't that got some DLC a little while back, didn't it? Didn't it add like a third character to it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I haven't played it in a long time, so I don't know. And
I think that might have been probably the last Xbox Live game I purchased, actually.
Oh, okay.
I like the arcadey ones.
There's also a new Sonic game coming out called Sonic Frontiers, and it is a 3D Sonic game. I haven't had a 3D Sonic game for a while, have we? But it does look quite interesting from the trailer. I do like a bit of Sonic the Hedgehog. So
it's supposed to be open world as well.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this is all about. So I've just had a comment from a Twitch viewer saying, hot take, top UK podcaster declares all PC gamers are pirates and thieves. I did not say that. I am an avid PC gamer myself. I have a massive library of games on Steam, Origin, Ubisoft, Xbox and stuff like that. Most PC gamers are the same and can't be fucked to pirate. But all I was trying to say was, Ben Jamal, is that a lot of PC gamers won't put up with the high price points of £70 for a game, and it will push them to pirate. That's all I'm trying to say.
That £70 price point is, like, I'm not even joking, like twice the price of what most PC players pay for a game.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Hell of a lot of money. That's all I was trying to say. I'm not saying that all PC gamers are pirates. Far from the truth. Most PC gamers I speak to can't be fucked with it. You know, so... Yeah. Anyway, shall we move on? I'm just skipping past quite a lot. Forspoken, they showed some more of that. It looks really awesome. There's a game called Dune Spice Wars. So this is obviously on the new film, The Dune. It's a real-time strategy game, which looks a bit meh, but yeah. Let me know afterwards if I've missed anything amazing, guys. Plague Tale Requiem. This got me really excited because I loved the first Plague Tale. So this is obviously the sequel to the first game and looks stunning. I love the characters you play. You play as some young children, pretty much in olden times Paris, and there's loads of.
Is it a continuation or is it like new characters?
No, it's the same characters.
Oh, the same too.
But it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Yeah, it's a brother and sister, and it carries on, and it looks stunning. I mean, the graphics on the original one was stunning, but it's just the gameplay is very dark. There's lots of like little puzzles and the fighting and all that sort of stuff. I loved the original games, and this one, as I say, is a continuation. And it looks visually, it looks amazing. I can't wait for this game. Day one for me. Okay, I know I'm making a hash of this, but I'm just trying to get through as many games as possible because there was actually quite a lot shown there. They showed an Elden Ring trailer, looks quite cool. They showed a little trailer for
that was the lore trailer, wasn't it?
Oh, for Elden Ring, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they showed off a bit of the Matrix Unreal demo thing because you could preload it before that, but it didn't actually unlock until the Game Awards. Is there anything I've missed? I mean, I've skipped past loads on this website that I'm kind of going through.
I mean, normally it's kind of like 70-something% indie stuff, isn't it? Really, with a spattering of like high-profile announcements.
Yeah, they showed one called 90. I'm trying to. Oh, I didn't pause that.
What was the cringe? Because I never watched it. There's always some cringe. What was it this year?
Oh, the Game Awards. So they showed. They had a lot of like singing. Like, had like a band going, which I just couldn't be arsed with it. And to be honest, I mean, I didn't watch the show live. I watched it back the next day because I was away the day it was shown. Plus, it was shown at like 2:00 in the morning, right? So I actually skipped past a lot of the show just because a lot of the show, to be honest, is a lot of shit. You know what I mean? I just want to watch the trailers. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, on that note, I did miss one that looked really, really good. It's called Slitterhead. And it is, and it is a take on the Silent Hill franchise, but it looks like it's in first person. So it's made by actually the guy who directed the original Silent Hill games. He went and founded a new studio. It actually says in that at the beginning of the trailer, and it looks really, really freaky, but very stylized as well. So the characters are all kind of wearing like those really cool outfits, you know, like kind of the steampunk outfits. But it looks freaky. Like I'm just watching a trailer now as I'm trying to explain it. So you've got this quite good-looking woman just come out of an alleyway. The dude turns around, and then she turns into this really freaky monster. But you only really see the monster in a shadow, so you don't really see it properly. And then you see some of the monsters later on. They're really well designed. Like they're humans, and they turn into like these weird kind of freaky bug like bone creature things. Are just so freaky, man. It looks, oh my goodness. But yeah, the trailer wasn't very long.
For that that Ghostwire Tokyo to eventually come out.
Oh yes, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, that looks like an awesome game as well, yeah. But yeah, this Slitterhead, I hadn't seen it before, and when I watched the trailer, I thought, yeah, this looks like my cup of tea. You know, I'd be pooing my pants playing this at night time. I can't wait. So they're doing a Persona 4 Arena is coming to the Ultimate Edition of Persona 4 Arena is coming to PS4, PC, and Switch on March the 10th. For those people that really
not
got
Xbox.
It. No.
Strange. As I had the originals on the Xbox. Hopefully, it's actually got the Japanese language in this one, because the last one I got was fucking horrible dub.
Oh, right.
And the only way of turning it off was to disable the voices from the game entirely.
Right.
Which you just can't play it like that, really.
Okay. And another bit of news, is if you enjoyed the Expanse TV show, Telltale are doing a game series of the Expanse as well.
Oh, ripping.
Quite cool. Yeah.
It was a good show for the first 3 or 4 seasons.
Yep. It was decent. That's all the games announced that I was particularly interested in anyway. The last piece of news that I have written down is Mortal Shell. It came to PlayStation Plus, but the developer has confirmed that the PlayStation Plus version is not going to feature the enhancements for the PS5. So if you want the PS5 version of the game, you still need to purchase it, but you get the PS4 version as part of your PlayStation Plus subscription. A lot of people are upset about this. I'm not bothered because I don't have PS Plus, but I can understand that.
I kind of get it, but I'm definitely someone who does not sit there and wonder what free games I'm going to get thrown each month. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have stuff, but it's not the be all and end all, to be honest.
No, it's not, of course, but
the main problem people have is when things like PlayStation Plus, like the free games and all that lot with it, was initially sort of conceived, it was like at the end of the PlayStation 3's life cycle. So you kind of got like a ton of quality games given to you, and they were only just going to get worse as the years went on. I mean, they've generally been probably 25% good each time. For the since over the entirety of the PS4's lifespan, almost.
Yeah, man.
And obviously, the games with gold for Xbox, you might as well just flush that shit down the toilet half the time because of Game Pass, they don't really put anything good on there anymore.
No, they don't. You know, to be honest, I don't even look. You know, I really can't be fucked to even look. You know, and. You know, there was a thing about Godfall on the PlayStation Plus as well, not actually unlocking the full game or something as well. So
did that last week, yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that last week. But Five Large Fries in Twitch has just mentioned about some stuff has come to light in the news about Activision Blizzard. We all know about the.
This isn't what I think it's about, is it? The breast milk fiasco.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So obviously, we've covered a lot of the Activision Blizzard stuff over the last month or so, and things just seem to be getting worse about the court cases which are coming to light. So Activision Blizzard staff are trying to unionize, and obviously Activision Blizzard are like, no, don't unionize, it's bad, blah blah blah. Anyway, news reports have come out saying that Activision Blizzard employees were stealing breast milk from the fridge. It's like, are you serious? So I'm just going to read this little bit here. I brought this up a few years ago. Everyone who was involved has since left, and the last reports were blah blah blah. Where's it gone? Oh, where the fuck's it gone? It says Breastfeeding workers, this kind of negligence towards breastfeeding workers is criminal anywhere else, but it happened daily at Blizzard. So it says the chairs would rock backwards and could not be locked in position to properly position oneself to pump. Many mothers were sitting on the floor to pump. The tables were made of wood, were porous and textured, so even though they were cleaned, breast milk built up and caked on the table, discolouring and leaving trapped milk on the table. Insufficient storage space. Refrigerators had padlocks that were not constantly locked.
What, so people are bringing their kids into work to breastfeed them?
Yeah, I mean,
really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So what happens when a mother goes to work? I don't know how much you know about the female reproductive system.
Well, yeah, I know about how breast milk and all that.
Yeah, so if you're breastfeeding a child and then you go to work and you leave your child at, say, childcare all day, your body, a woman's body, still produces the milk, and if it isn't pumped or taken, they actually leak. So there needs to be pumped anyway.
They were right, yeah. So they were basically doing that at work. I just imagine they were taking their newborn flesh sacks to work and basically like breastfeeding them in the office.
No, so they would pump at work, and then so the milk was wasted. Obviously, they'd store it in the fridge so they can give it to their baby maybe later in a bottle, which makes perfect sense, right? So yeah, I mean that's fucking fucked up.
And someone was just basically being a prick and stealing it.
Yeah. Yeah, people were stealing the breast milk. Yucky. Yuck.
I'd have been on that shit straight away. In fact, any modern company would be.
Yeah.
Like, you should see the shit that gets raised at bloody workplaces nowadays if, like, someone's can of drink goes missing or someone eats someone else's sandwich.
Yeah. I know, it's fucked up. Okay, we'll go. Have we got any other news? If not, I'm going to go to questions. I'm just looking through the Twitch chat quickly just to make sure I haven't missed anything. Dougster asked, has anyone played Evil Genius 2 World Domination? I have not. Have you guys got any other news? I know time is ticking on. I know it's quite late, so if you don't, that's
not off the top of my head. There's probably been plenty, but not that I can think of at the moment, really. I know there was a King of Fighters 15 beta that was announced, or a second live beta or demo for PS4 and PS5 coming soon, like at the Game Awards.
Good times. Anything else? Okay, questions. There's not been many questions, which is great. Random Fire Reg on Discord asks us, if Game Pass wasn't a thing, would you pay for all the game out before? That makes no sense. Would you pay for all the game out now before Christmas? Okay, I'm going to rephrase that because it makes no sense to me. What games would you purchase before Christmas?
Yeah. Well, it's like, would you buy all those games yourself before Christmas or whatever? Like, if there was no Game Pass.
I would have definitely
I'd have bought Halo and Forza. That's
probably same here, 100%.
I think they'd have sold, yeah, definitely.
Other Game Pass games, I'm not sure. I'm just trying to look through my list. Maybe Mortal Shell, because that's been on my radar for a while, to be honest. I'd already purchased Stardew Valley, which is now on there. Evil Within 2, maybe would have purchased.
Oh, I will say they have actually, briefly, they've renamed Xbox Game Pass for PC as just PC Game Pass.
Yes, they have. They did announce that, didn't they? Which makes more sense.
Yeah, because it's not an Xbox, so...
Yeah. Five Large Fries has just mentioned in the chat that there was a 4chan screen grab from 2019 of someone raiding the fridge for breast milk and claimed they worked for a large tech company. So there you go. That's quite interesting. Ben Jamal on Twitch asks, have any of you planned out what games you'll be playing over Christmas? Probably.
I will stream
Halo.
Christmas Nights into Dream.
Oh, nice.
I'll be playing Halo, Forza, Final Fantasy 14, and probably Mario Party. And
it might mainly Final Fantasy, really, for me, I think.
Yeah. And Five Lodge Fire's obviously missed the beginning of the show because he's asking if we have completed Halo, and that is a big no. Okay. Oh, Clarky's asked the same question.
The Christmas Nights, that still just only exists in like the free demo form.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking the questions because people ended up having a massive conversation in the question chat, and I can't see it anymore on the Discord. Well, yeah, because Clarky asked as well what games we're going to be playing over Christmas, which we've answered. Oh, Leonardo asks, what game reminds you of good times at Christmas? Anybody?
I'd probably say older games that I used to play down my mate's house when we used to meet up down there for Christmas. Stuff like Saturn Bomberman, Micro Machines, things like that.
I can't really think of anything, to be honest, and I mean, because I've mentioned this before many times. I mean, my best memory of Christmas was unwrapping that PS1 with Final Fantasy VII on Christmas Day in 1997. So that's all, that's always a happy memory for me. Best game ever. But I don't really have any other good Christmas memories, really, of multiplayer or anything like that. No, unfortunately.
I not multiplayer. I remember I said I got my Dreamcast on my birthday in July, but then I didn't get a memory card until Christmas, so that was nice getting that.
Oh,
so I could actually save.
That's awful, man. Ouch. Ouchie. Cool. There's no other questions on the Discord. No other questions on Twitch. And Bryce, you need to go back and listen to the show because we've talked about Endwalker shitloads. And I know you've been playing it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's been on it probably he's been on it more than me because every time I look at him on the Discord, he's playing it. So,
or possibly more than me, maybe as well.
Maybe he has. He's been on it a lot.
Yeah.
So
there's already been at least 5 or 6 people, I think, in RFC that have finished it, I think.
Oh, nice. I mean, I'm nowhere near finishing it. I can't fucking get logged on, as I mentioned earlier. So, yeah. Go back and listen, Carl. It's a great convo for Final Fantasy fans. Anyway, anything else you guys want to mention before we log off for the evening?
I'm not about next week, so people can breathe a sigh of relief.
No! Okay, I'm going to have to...
visiting relatives next week.
Oh, okay.
It's that Christmas time, isn't it?
It
See people while you can.
I need to try and find some people for next week. Nicky will be available, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have.
Or you could always call on Cole.
Maybe I can call on Cole to come on. Cole's always welcome. He can talk about Final Fantasy with me and bore everyone to death. I do try to get Cole on, but he works on a Sunday most Sunday evenings, unfortunately. So, but he's always welcome. He knows that. I'll see if I can get Peebs on, because Peebs hasn't been on for a while, or maybe Colin, because I can see them both playing Call of Duty Warzone at the moment. So,
it's not like they're drinking, Christmas drinking.
Yes. And, maybe next week as well is... next week's recording is probably going to be our Christmas special as well, because the next show after that won't be recorded till Boxing Day. So next week is our Christmas episode. So you've skipped that one on purpose, haven't you? Because you don't want to sing any Christmas carols. I know what you're like, Darren.
It's just the way it just ended up.
You say that. You said you've done that for years. I've listened for years. I've never heard anyone sing.
Really? We do it every Christmas. We sing a Christmas carol.
Anyone sing?
Yeah, man.
Well, Webby sings. Everyone else just makes noise.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. All right then. Well, on that note, then it is super late, and some of us have work tomorrow. I don't, but I know you guys do. So we'll end it here. Thank you very much. So from me, Mark Webb, Gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G.
Fights on the Twitter and the Twitch. I've cancelled all my online dating apps because they don't talk to me.
And happy Christmas and all that jazz to everyone. And I'll catch you at some point soon, Sensei Switch.
Awesome. So thank you very much. If you want to listen to all of next week's episode, you need to sign up to the Patreon. Visit patreon.com/360gamercast. There you get a show every single week of the year, plus all our special episodes as well, like the awesome music special we did last month, which is amazing, if I do say so myself. For all the links and stuff, just visit 360gamercast.com. Everything is there. If you want to find us on the social medias, just search for 360 Gamercast. On that note, it has been lovely speaking to you all. I hope you all enjoy this show, and hopefully we'll see you next week. So thank you very much. We will see you next week. Goodbye.